My beautiful chat. My beautiful chat. How are we doing today? Summoner, Taco, hello, my two friends. It is beautiful to see you two here. Today's stream is gonna be interesting, to say the least, because let me pause the music real quick. Today's gonna be interesting because we're playing. We're playing Hollow Knight, but we are gonna be ranking every boss and OST in Hollow Knight. So that's the plan. My freaking nail. I'm good, just tired. I feel you, bro. How are you, Kami? I could be better, man. I definitely could be better. But it's okay, because now, that's neither here nor there. We are going to just do this thing, man. We're just going to do this thing. Yeah. Today's been a day, I'll say that. But that is neither here nor there, because today, my brothers and sisters, this is actually probably like, I ain't gonna lie, that's probably like my favorite. I've been waiting on this. Guys, I just actually clicked on the Silk Song animation. I was spamming emojis. How did you do that? How, Sway? How does one do that? Anyway. I'm not gonna lie. P5 got it, bro. P5 had I didn't expect that level of just pure hatred. Today has been a day. It has. But it's okay. Today's been a day. But that's why we stream, because even though the day may be bad, a stream will always be there to shed a little more light on the situation. Now, as for Silk Song, I still have to buy it. I haven't bought the game yet. I don't know when I'm gonna buy the game. I hope to buy the game sometime soon, because I know I've been waiting for Silk Song ever since I even started freaking Hollow Knight. And I am very excited to play Silk Song. I think my main concern with the Silk Song is I just gotta get the funds for it, because YouTube is kind of holding my moolah hostage, unfortunately. So I can't really do nothing with it at the moment. But that is a-okay, because as I'm talking to you about, I'm also making stuff to the thing. Okay. And yeah. But I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna put this music on. Hopefully the music isn't too loud. It's a little loud in my ears, but I can kind of talk over it just because I'm used to it. I ain't gonna lie, I already know what bosses are going in freaking C tier. I already know what bosses are going where low key. Looking at this junk, I already know who's going, who ain't staying, who going, bro. Because boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy. Alright, you know what? I'll wait till 8:05 and then we can, let me get started. Kami, end this stream and go to sleep now. I'm fine, buddy. Hi there. Hello, Algorithm Ellen. How you doing, man? If I were to say share any stream, I would share this one, because this is going to be probably the most chat heavy. Kami will sleep later. Yeah. But hello, Algorithm. How are you, my friend? I'm gonna start the ranking, because I do want this to be like a chat-based thing. I'm gonna start the ranking at 8:05. So if there's anyone that that would actually love to watch the stream and actually participate in the ranking of the characters, invite them in. And yeah. Doing all right, you? I'm glad you're doing good, Ellen. This is gonna be something, alright. I'm tired, but I'm chilling. Real, bro. If No Eyes isn't an ET, I'm gonna crash out. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna adjust this tier list. So we are gonna have an S tier. S, A, B, C, D. We're gonna make this F, and then we're going to delete this. Yeah, so as this is gonna be the tier list. But I think it is 8:05, so let's start. All right, first character, Dung Defender. Not gonna lie. Oh wait, no, these are the wait, is this OSTs? No, this is the OSTs. No. We need this one. This is the one we need. Yep. All right. First order, Grub Mother. Not gonna lie. Keep it a buck with y'all. Yeah, I love that meme too. Hey, bossy, how are you? Hey, little bossy. I think Grub Mother's probably gonna be a D tier. I'm not gonna lie. That is a D tier boss. Not really that hard. Not really that many cool animations to him. I'm cool, Beans. How about you, love? Grub's Mother is an S tier. Cap. Grub's Mother is a whore. No, Grub's Mother is a whore. That's a D tier boss. That is a D tier boss for sure. Honestly, Grub Mother's a C for me. Okay, I see C. I'm saying D. She's kind of adorable, but yeah, she's not really a good boss. She doesn't have any cool animations. Doesn't anything special about her. Dang, what it do to you? I mean, it's just not a good. It's not a good boss. It's not. It's not a good boss. It's not a good boss. It's not hard. There's nothing special about this boss at all. It's just there. Like it's a D. Okay, actually, maybe I'm being too harsh. Maybe C tier. Can we agree on C tier? We can agree on C tier. It's going no higher than C. It's going no higher than C. It's just not going higher than the C tier. I think it's a mid boss. It's a mid boss, and I think a C tier is perfect for her. She's good for an early game boss, but nothing special. That's what I'm saying. So I'm thinking C tier, like mid. Like she's mid. She's a mid boss. So okay, we can agree on C. Tell your fine friend I said hey. It was probably designed for early players that I found it right at the beginning of my playthrough. For sure, I could definitely agree on that. And I'm not taking anything away from her. It's just she's not. False Knight is a B tier. Okay, False Knight. Frick. Wait. Frick. Hold on. I made a mistake. Hold on. I don't. Bum bum. Bum 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 bum. Hold on, I made a mistake. There we go. Okay, cool. There we go. I made a mistake. Yeah, False Knight is a B tier, a clean C. You think it's a C tier? I feel like it deserves. I feel like it can have it could definitely have False Knight is a really simple yet different for an early game boss. I feel like False Knight is definitely like the first like kind of skill check we have in the game. So I'm gonna give. I mean, he wasn't even that hard. I'll put him C. I think a clean. Yeah, low key. I agree with Lil Bossy. I think a C tier is where he goes. Cause I think he's just a mid boss. I mean, I first tried him on my playthrough when I was like new to the game. Like I truly think there's not much that's actually really special about. It's not much special about him. I mean, he has a ground attack. He can summon meteors, but they're really inaccurate. He has a shockwave, but it's like horribly easy to dodge. Like. False Knights are pretty good for an early game boss. He is also early game. That's a good point, actually. He is also an early game boss. So, okay, maybe B tier. I think B tier. No. I think top of C is where I'm putting him. I think top of C. It's also hard to judge bots from other games because everyone's improved since then. True. Personally, I'd put him in B, but I can get behind C. False Knight doesn't give soul unless you hit the actual mega. I think it's a perfect first boss. That is also true. He doesn't really give soul, huh? I. You know what? I think y'all convinced me. I think he's B. Failed champion. I'm putting him in A tier. Failed champion is an A tier boss. Failed champion is definitely A tier boss. He does 2 basket damage, which is already crazy. He's a lot faster. Without shade dash, like you're like, because most times you fight him, you're not gonna have shade dash. He's tanky. He doesn't give soul. Failed champion is definitely but then would it be A tier though? Look at it. False doesn't give soul. Yeah. I don't know if I like him at A actually. Yeah, I agree. I can see him at A. He's definitely A tier. I could definitely see him A tier. Not too hard of a boss, but definitely challenging for the average player. A tier boss. Now, the Marek D tier. This is not this boss is just like, he's just kind of, I'll give him C. I'll give him top of C because he's better. He's better than Gruzmother. Low A tier for me, yeah. And we're definitely gonna move some people around once we actually get like more established in the tier list. But yeah, I could definitely see Failed Champion going in low A. Now, for the Merrick, I definitely see him being C tier. I was gonna say D tier, but I'm looking at a lot of these other bosses, and some of these other bosses are definitely going right in D tier. Malik is a definition of filler. Exactly, like he is a literal filler boss. And the only time Malik is actually difficult was in Call of 3, because they had the weird Coliseum. But other than that, Malik is not going higher than freaking. He's not going higher than C. D tier, Vince Fly. Vince Fly's a D tier boss, and I'm not changing my mind on that. Malik is 100% a D tier boss, and I don't think that's debatable. I don't think that's really crazy to say. I think D tier is for bad bosses. Vince Fly's a bad boss. I mean, bro. Vince Fly's boring. F is for annoying dumb bosses. No eyes. No, for real. No, for sure. But I'm definitely putting him in D tier. He's not a cool boss. He doesn't really do anything. He kind of just, trying to do a send of his fight clean. So yeah, D tier. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, okay, I see. Okay, D tier. Okay, now massive Mosh Charger, also D tier. Not really anything happens with this boss. Maybe the only time that you really struggle with this boss is if she does her jump. Other than that, this boss is not difficult at all. And it's not, I wouldn't even really count it as a boss, honestly. He's more D for Moss. Okay, yeah, I agree. It's definitely a D for Moss, for sure. For sure. Okay. Hornets. Low key, I'm giving Hornet. This is when she's in what's it called? In Green Path. I'm putting her right here. Mossy's a joke facts. Hornet is A for sure. That's what Hornet's definitely A tier. It's like, she was like the first boss that like really lets you know like things gonna get devious. She has some good attacks. Her collision effects are kind of stupid. Cool animations. Cool shouts. A tier for sure. Definitely a beautiful boss. I say she did a beautiful skill check. Exactly, just a beautiful skill check. No eyes. F tier. Not gonna explain why. Not gonna explain. Just poorly designed boss. RNG, and just you wait around the whole time. Just not a good boss. Definite F tier. Next. Also F tier. Umu's also an F tier. Umu is definitely an F tier for sure. I don't think that's really crazy to say. I don't think that's really like wild. I definitely see Umu as an F tier boss for sure. Definitely F tier. No really cool animations. You kind of running from the electricity all the time, and then you have to hit the jellyfish into her to actually kill her. Yeah, no, she's F. She's an F tier. F tier boss. I don't think that really needs to be talked about. Elder Hugh. The things with Elder Hugh, for me, Umu has 2 rankings. Talk to me. Because I say she F. Umu was fun to figure out in Godhome, though. No, the frick. Because the fight with Crow is good, but Godhome is horrible. That's what I'm saying. When you have Crow on your side, it's not bad. But in Godhome, when you have to literally hit the jellyfish into her, though, bro, frick that. It's freaking horrible. It's freaking A. I see it. I see her as F. Next boss, Elder Hugh. I faced Elder Hugh really, really late. Because I already did Godhome by the time I faced Elder Hugh. So I thought I didn't get to enjoy him as much. I'm saying Elder Hugh is B tier. Top of B. On me, the boomerang jellyfish are the... That's what I'm saying. I think Elder Hugh's a B tier, though. I could definitely see Elder Hugh being a B tier. I don't think that's crazy. I don't think that's like, whoa, you're tripping. I think Elder Hugh is he's fun. His animations are fun. His moves are fun. If you got Shade Cloak, you just have to everything low. That's what I'm saying. I faced him with Shade Cloak, so I just kind of bulldoze him. But like, Mantis Lord's S, oh my gosh, yes. Oh my gosh, yes. Our first S tier at Mantis Lords, absolutely. These guys are absolutely S tier. Fun boss, amazing music, really cool animations. They're actually difficult. Midstar, what's up, Midstar? You can dash through everything. Midstars are definitely S tier. You actually have to know what you're doing, especially when like they start jumping you. Oh yeah, Mantis Lords are S tier. I think I probably put him in C. You put him in C? Those are the first one. Easy S tier. Mantis Lord is definitely an S, but you put Elder Hugh on C? Dang. Putting him C is kind of egregious, no? Also, I just realized y'all couldn't hear the music the whole time. Hold on. Putting I don't think Elder Hugh's I don't think she's a, what's it called? Mantis Swords were so hard for me at first, but I looked at them at some upgrades. I didn't even go upgrades. I was straight up raw up. I put Elder Hugh C tier. I'm good. That's good, Midstar. C. I don't know. I'll keep him B tier, but Elder Hugh just filler for me. Yeah, I could see that. I'll put him B tier, but he may change. The Soul Master. Not gonna lie, Soul Master, you're going right in between Grisman and Marek. Actually, no, you're top of C. You can be top of C. But you don't go no higher than that. Especially in Godhome Fair. You should get the Dirt Mouth OST going. Okay. Let me actually, hold on. Dirt. I got you. I guess we could put some Hollow Knight music on since we are ranking Hollow Knight, huh? Hold on. There we go. Playlist. And boom. We may have some ads, though. We do have ads. I hate it here. Who's got the sauce? Actually, it's actually a really good way for me to... Actually, hold on. We are not going to have ads. Because I think there's something I can do. Hold on. Soul Warrior is alright. Soul Warrior is a C for sure. I definitely agree. He doesn't do anything, like, special, I would say. He doesn't do anything, like, unique. He's just kind of there. And, honestly, I don't see him being any higher than he is, if I'll be for real. He's like no higher than he is. Because he's just a very mid boss. I ain't gonna lie, he's a mid boss. All right. That didn't work. Okay, well, guess we're gonna have to deal with ads. I hate that. I really don't want to deal with ads though. So we're literally just gatekeeps progress. Is it gate? Yeah. He doesn't really do much. He doesn't do much. He's not that hard. Actually, y'all think. Hold on. Y'all think Spotify got a freaking Y'all think Spotify got a Hollow Knight playlist? I feel like they would. I feel like they would. I don't know though. I don't know. Oh, that's true. Are we including runbacks in the rankings? Well, there's a second soul where you can find how he guards a charm. But does that change his ranking? Like that? Like does that second really change his ranking at all? Or I feel like it really doesn't. If I'll be real, I feel like it definitely doesn't. I feel like he's still kind of just. I feel like he's still kind of just mid. Even I feel like even in his best, he's still just kind of mid. But that's all I'm saying, bro. I feel like the brother kind of just mid. All right, there we go. The second time he spawns little blob minions, but does that really make him better? Did you plan to get out of the achievement for Hollow Knight? No. It's probably I got it. The second fight spawns runbacks make some bosses much worse than they actually are. Yeah, it's like his God Home version. Does that make him above C tier though? I feel like that still puts him right at C tier. I feel like even with the blob minions, he doesn't do anything special. I feel like he still kind of just exists, if that makes sense. Am I bugging? It makes it more difficult since he's got, I think, Shade Soul. Nah, he doesn't. I mean, yeah. I think he's still C tier. I think he's still C tier for sure. Okay. Next, Soul Master, Soul Master. B tier. Think above. I can put him above Elder Hugh, but I don't think he touches it. The only really miss if and P5 was the hardest one. I know, but no. I think Soul Master, Soul Tyrant both B tier. Hold on. Soul Master is B tier. Soul Tyrant, I put Soul Tyrant. Hold on. Go back down there. I'm putting Soul Tyrant at A. I think Soul Master's B tier. Soul Tyrant's A. Soul Master A. Soul Tyrant. That's what I'm saying. I think Soul Master's A tier. Soul Master, Soul Tyrant are basically the same thing. Soul Tyrant took me 4 tries. Oh, Soul Tyrant is fun. A or S. Soul Tyrant is a fun spin, so possibly A. I like Soul Tyrant a lot more because he was a lot hard. He was a whole lot harder than Soul Master for sure. Soul Tyrant is so fast paced and fun. Yeah, I'm putting him A. I think A is a good spot for him. Okay. Next. The Watcher Knights. I think B tier. I think these guys are a B tier. Hi. Well, hello, Ewan. How are you today? We're ranking bosses in Hollow Knight. Hello, Lewin. Welcome. I think Watcher Knights is a B tier. I ran some as bad sometimes. Sometimes it was easy for me. Lol. I feel you. I feel like Watcher Knights is a B tier. I agree. Okay, cool. I feel like that's a B tier boss. It's not they aren't that hard. The most annoying parts when they like jump you, but they're not even coordinated. Whenever I go back to Soul Master and Soul Tyrant to fight for someone slower, it is. It really is. Which is why I think Soul Tyrant is better. Okay. Next. The Collector. D tier. The Collector's D tier. I don't think anyone really. I think he's a D tier. Watch his B is fair. I think Collector's a D tier. Is that crazy? I feel like he's definitely D tier. Collector is D. Okay, cool. Yeah. He doesn't do anything. That's true. Some same as with every dream boss in the regular variant. Nah, but sometimes the regular variation is actually better than the dream version. But we ain't even gonna talk about that conversation right at the moment.
Hey.
Yo, Brody. I'm in the middle of stream, my boy. I love you.
Why would you join?
Bro, this is my house.
This is your house. This is
we're not doing this. We're not doing it. Bro, I need you to. Hey, I love you too. I love y'all.
Bro, if you're
I love you, but I need you to dip immediately.
Bro, who are you?
I'm asking nicely.
Who do you think you are?
I need you to dip.
This is a public Discord.
I need you to dip.
And first, I created this.
All right. See, you see what happens when people don't listen, chat?
This is your lease.
You see?
You just leased.
Goodbye. Chris, I need you to dip, man.
I'll be quiet, but I can't do that right now.
I got it for you. Oh my gosh! Stop this! Stop it! Just why? I'm in the. You know what, bro? Hold on. See, this is why I don't use my freaking room. We're going back here. Chat, I'm so sorry for that interruption. My friends are something, all right. Hey, Los. Is this chat? Was got Clutch's Northern about his got humble can I hit you? Yeah. Is this chart based on difficulty or fight vibe? Everything, honestly. Not alpha tier. We're using the Greek alpha because it sucks so bad. Lol. Done if it's a C tier for me, be the first try, so I don't care for it. When Collector spawns a little row until it gets annoying. Collector, stop. Get out. Leave. Whoever is in here. Jesus is low. I can't have nothing, chat. If y'all are wondering, I'm in my Discord with my IRL friends or my IRL homies. Are you gonna doing Ender when you first fight them? I'm doing both, honestly. Not gonna lie, I'll say Dunga's B or C. I'm putting this on. I put him at D. He don't do nothing, bro. Well, nah, I'll put him C. I'll put him top of C. Because I struggle with Dun Defender more than I struggle with anyone else. I'll put him C. Oh, hey, comment about to beat equal 3 Cuphead. Hey. Cute beat. I feel like it's a C. Top of C. D is fair. I think top of C is fine. Because I like him more than the other 3 bosses in C. But he's also not as good as the bosses in B. Then if it's a character S is a fight B, he's not a B. Then White Dung is C again? No. White Dung is B. White Dung is like right here in B. Barely makes B. You're muted. Am I? No, I'm not. I agree. White Defender is A, I think. A? I'm not giving him A. White Defender looks like it is so much. I'm not Doma. I'm not giving him A tier. A tier, you're pushing it. I'm not giving him A tier. I'll give him B. I'm not giving him A. He is not as good as the bosses in A tier. He's a B tier. That brother is a B tier boss. F tier. Hold on. Oh, yeah, no. Hold on. Plasma. Yeah, no. This one is just bottom F. Heck no. You think he's A? Next boss was trash. Yeah, nah. I ain't gonna lie. Fluke Marmon's an F. We don't even gotta discuss that. Fluke Marmon's an F tier for sure. Agreed? Okay, cool. Yeah, definitely F tier. Next. Crystal Guardian. Normal version? I don't know. Because they're both easy. I mean, he's cool. He has a cool design. That's it, though. Crystals are both F. This boss is fine. I feel like he's a B tier boss if anything. Like that's me being nice. I think B tier is fine. Nah, he don't even think he's B tier. I'm putting them both top of D. They're both top of D. They're both top of D tier. They're not really cool, but yeah, they're both easy Q the Enraged Guardian clips. He was a good fight the first time in one shot, but it was decent. Flumer's a bad fight, but not knowing like everything else in F. I first tried. I'm back. What's up, Drawing Crown? We're ranking the bosses. Nah, he's D tier. Yo, Con, what's your favorite color? Purple. Purple to wear, but red when it comes to designing. Alts Collector deserves S tier minimum. Oh, you're bugging. Oh, you're bugging. Oh, no, you're bugging. You're out of your mind. He does not know. Next. Zero. I'll give Zero C. I'll give him right in between. A little over Soulmaster. Zero is C. I think, yeah, C too. Yeah. I definitely, yeah, he was saving the bugs. He's a hero. He's annoying. Phil C is fair. Purple, why y'all like purple? I've always loved purple. So I like to wear it. He deserves S. No, he does. Zero is A. Nah, you're bugging something. I don't know. Nah, he is not an A tier boss. I'm sorry. I will die on that hill. You gotta explain it to me, bro. I don't see it. I don't see the vision. You gotta talk to me again. How is he an A tier? Cause I don't see it. I don't see it. Yeah, Cyril's a C. Whoa, yo. Y'all know Cyril, he's way too, that's what I'm saying, he just throws his nails. He's fun, but I stand collector, you gonna stand alone. You gonna stand alone. You are going to stand alone, bro. Zero has one attack. That's what I'm saying. Bro, we're not putting him in A. I'm sorry. He don't even get B. He's getting C. Also, Hive Knight too. Hold on. He is super consistent. Hold on. Yo, who do you think you are? A brother that ain't got no time for this, bro. I'm streaming. You know this. He is looking at if you put a little time into the fight. It's really fun to bitch and weed through the sword, especially in the second half. Bro, that don't give him A tier. I'm sorry, it don't give him A tier. Can we all agree Marvel deserves S? You're freaking cracked. You're cracked the frick out. Sorry. No. It's F tier. I'm gonna put him in A, but he is. Oh shoot, did he do it? I did it yesterday. What's up, son? I'm good. Caterpillar was D tier. In my opinion, super basic. What was he? Hold on. This man copied to piss me off. Hey, bro. You know what time I'm on, gang? Marmu. Marmu's not S. I'll give him B. Marmu's B. Marmu's a B tier. Marmu's a B tier. I'll say hello, Skyward. Yes, he did beat me, so I'm good. What about you? Marmu D? D? Y'all put him D? Nah. I mean, he is kind of, he does have one attack, huh? Kami, congrats. Thank you. No way Marmu's no way we're putting him D tier. Excited for tomorrow though? Hey, bro. I'm glad you got something to be excited for, my boy. Marmu is D. He has one attack, y'all. Actually, yo, that's a great point. Hold on. That's a great point, actually. He does. Dang. I'll give him C. He has one attack. He does have one attack. Bro, it's so funny, bro. Tossing the division. It's unfair volleyball. He doesn't only have one attack the entire time. That's the thing. Like, he's not really. He don't really got much going for him. He literally just is basic and cheating. It's not even really cheating. I don't see it. As message to Cora for her fight. Is it a her? I don't know. Mama was so funny. Little D tier. I ain't gonna give him D. D tier is OD, but C tier I'll say C. Cause I like him better than Gruz's mother. Okay, cause Pete, right? Pete. If y'all put in Marmu at D tier, then everyone here gotta get dropped down to D tier, and I just don't think that's happening because they're not on the level of these bosses. I think C tier is fine for him. He's randomly rolling around, tricking you into missing and running, your runs. You have limited mask, and yeah, I'm saying C. I'm gonna stick with C. I may change my mind, but I'm sticking C. Okay, next, Trader Lord, A tier boss, I don't think that's great. Well, Actually, no. It's a B tier. He's B tier. That boss is actually not that trailer easy. I don't think so, actually. I think he's B. Oh, I love Trailer's fight. Trailer's fight is really basic. Like, horribly basic. Trailer is fun. Death A, he only gets easy once you figure out his attacks. I mean, A. Everyone below Mama goes to D tier, Dunfin goes to B, Zero goes to A, and Mama goes to S. Frick no, you're bugging. I think he's a B tier boss, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. Actually, alright, start off, hold on. I died like 5 times. I died twice to him. I did twice, and that was it. When you see him for the first time, he's definitely a skill check. True. Zero and A is absurd. And it forces you to learn Shade Cloak. It doesn't force you. You can just jump his attacks. B tier is fair. However, you can say how easy he is in God Home. That's what I'm considering. Low key, hold on. Chat, hold on. I think Trader Lords goes to A. Failed Champion drops down to below Soul Master. I think that's fair. That's fair. Let me plug in my thing. Hold on. I think putting him there is fair. I don't think that's crazy. Cause I think yeah. Can we agree I'm an SS tier? You know, you gotta put me as a hard as boss, right? Get the frick out of here. Hey, chat. And God, you get full upgrades. You have full upgrades when you find first time. I found him after I had the double back, so I did have full upgrades. I'm gonna put him in A tier. What do you mean, Joshy the final boss? Y'all didn't know? I'm great double S. What boss are you? He's every boss. I'm tired. I feel that. Okay. I think this is fun. I can't even pronounce his name. He D tier. He's a D tier. He's a D tier boss. And I promise you I'm not changing my mind. I promise you I'm not gonna change my mind either. That is a D tier boss. I'm not changing my mind about it either. If you think he's not a D tier boss, you gotta talk to me. You gotta talk to me. Cause that is a D tier boss to me, bro. Galleon is the best Dream Warrior. He's a really engaging boss to learn if you're solid and really good for it. Galleon, that's his name. I don't care. He's D tier. Galleon's the best Dream Warrior? No, he's not. No, he's not. No, he's not. No, he's not. That's propaganda. That's genuinely propaganda. If I'm going to be real with you, that is genuinely propaganda, and I won't stand for it. Galleon, Nosk is C. I can agree on that. Actually, no. Nosk? I don't think Nosk is C. Nosk is a B tier. I think a top of B, actually. Nosk, nah. Not to be unless we include wing knots. We love autocorrect. I feel you. I think Nas is a B tier, honestly. Wing knots is F. By the way, congrats on being P5. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Nas is annoying, but has enough attack variety to warrant C. I think he's B. I like him better than a lot of the bosses in B tier. I'm not gonna lie. Nosuke's fight was actually mad engaging. Nosuke B tier's OC is amazing. Facts. I got Nosuke at the B. Nosuke's definitely B. Stop bugging. Zotamati, F. Just absolutely gotta be S, right? Oh yeah, no, Nosuke. Yeah, Nosuke's a B tier. Nosuke's the B tier boss. Actually, like top up B. The other Zotes, F. Obble Bobbles, F. God Tamer. God Tamer can have. It can have like mid C, low mid C. Prince Zo's F. Yup. Nas ahead of Knights. White Defender failed champion. Absolutely insane. Y'all don't think that's crazy? God Tamer C. Yeah, I put him right in the middle of C. You hold on, Taco. You think Nosuke's in a better fight than the Knights? C. What's good, Dark Dream 218? Markov B. I'm thinking when I first encountered him. I can get behind B. I can get behind B. Like right here. Right here. Wait, that's Wing Nas. Hold on. Sorry. Nah, put you back. Markov, you're going right here, buddy. Bro, Nas fight is buns. Markov freaking A. He's always hard. Markov F. Guys, okay, hold on. Before you say that, take the Pantheon out of your mind and think of, no. Hold on. Think about when you first fought Markov. When you first fought him in Kingdom's Edge. That was actually a fun boss fight. I'll give him B. He's annoying at the Pantheons, yes. But I think he's a B tier boss. Y'all, yeah, Markov's so bad we gotta use a Greek alphabet. Chat, I think y'all are thinking of the problem with Markov is that he's normally B to A, but P5, that's what I'm saying. P5 is P5 Markov. Love his character, don't like his fight. Even his base fight is trash. Nah, it ain't trash. I don't know, y'all. Okay. I like Markov over the. Okay, Parasite, he's the best. That's what I'm saying. His turn is so sassy and rude. I know, but what I'm saying is, like, if you take Markov as A tier Dream Shield, no. I think Markov's Hornet Sentinel's A. Oh no, actually, but no. Hornet Sentinel's S tier. She go right next to the Mansword. Hornet Sentinel is an S tier boss. Actually, if he's just base Markov than A or B tier, I'm including that. Actually, y'all make a good point. Actually, hold on, because Pantheon 5 Markov is a freaking hoe to deal with. Put that end of B, right at the end of B. It's just gotta message you up. Base Markov, D would Markov hated here, not crazy. Hive Knight S. Again, we love autocorrect. Hornet Sentinel's S tier, and I'm not really gonna take out that's S tier. Hive Knight. I actually like the B tier. Top actually. I put him A tier. The Hive Knight boss fight is actually really fun. He's really cool attacks, cool animations, really cool ST. Hive Knight was a D5 B. I'm putting him at A, actually. I like him way more than anyone in B tier. Or not way more, but like Hive Knight is B. Hive Knight is B. Hive Knight is cool. No boss ever me want to say Serto Bark. I agree. B. A is Hive Knight B. Hive Knight OC is a banger. Yes, Hive Knight A. I'm seeing a lot of Hive Knight B. Are y'all sure y'all want Hive A or B? Low key really like Gorb A tier. Oh, you gonna hate where I put him. You gonna hate where I put him. Yeah, but B. Hive Knight is easy. You just spam attacks. Yeah, but B. I see what you did. A. I'm thinking A tier. I really enjoyed this boss fight, actually. I enjoyed it. His boss fight was fun. Especially when you first meet him. His boss fights are really fun. Him summoning the bees. How that B would be a crime. Low key. Low A, high B. B. I'm gonna do a poll. I'll do a poll. Alright. Alright. Hold on. Da-da-da-da. Alright, cool. Start poll. Alright, y'all vote. How that B would be a crap. How that B for the Beebs. Y'all gotta vote. I'll let y'all vote it. Dang. He belongs in the B tier. Y'all trying to make a meme out of it. I just realized. I freaking hate y'all. It's looking like B. I'll give it a minute. How did I say it would not be tolerated? It's like B tier's bad. B tier's fine. I guess that may go into B tier. That's crazy. Okay. That's fine. I'm okay with him being a B tier. I will put him top of B though. Okay. Gorb. Gorb's B tier. I'll put him right here. How nice, so fun though. Yeah. Gorb F. Nah, he's not an F tier. Gorb D. Oh, y'all don't like Gorb at all, actually, huh? I don't. Chat Hive Night is not the same tier as Marco. It's just not okay. No, but I got no respect on Gorb. Really? I actually didn't mind the Gorb fight when I first fought him. In the Highland Cliffs. Gorb D at highest? D at highest? Hive Night is peak, but he must be B. Gorb and B tier is disrespectful to Marmu. What? Really? D tier is hey, you know what? I'm not finna fight for it. I'm not gonna fight for it. I'll put him at D. I ain't gonna fight for it. Broken Vessel. A tier. Actually, hold on. Cause Broken Vessel I don't. I'm put him A and I put his dream counterpart top of B. Actually, he's behind Hive Knight, low-key. Let's look at behind Hive Knight. Gorb fight is boring, but I can understand C, A, or S. Yeah, I like Marmu. Broken is A. Broken is A. But I think his Lost Kin variation is B. I definitely give him Broken Vessel's definitely A. 100% A. His B, Lost Kin's B tier. I think his non-dream variation is actually better than his dream variation. What's wrong with dream variant? His dream variant, he's just like, okay, with the dream variation, I have higher stands for dream variation, and the fact that all it is just like he just starts summoning stuff randomly. Nah, it's uncreative. Is A tier though? Nah, I'm putting him B. I like Hive Knight more than I like Lost Kin, if I'm gonna be real about it. I'm being real about it. I'm being real about it too. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's how I feel about it. The Hollow Knight, S tier. Although the crossfit background and Lost Kin is a little low, fair enough. That's what I'm saying. Lost Kin doesn't do anything. He doesn't really do anything new. He just summons stuff. That's it. He just starts summoning the little dudes to mess up your healing, but he's not creative. Hive Knight feels like an A tier. I may put him back up there, low key. Hollow Knight is an A. Hollow Knight is an S. Stop this. In fact, Hollow Knight's like the best boss in the game. Hollow Knight's one of the best bosses in the game. Period. 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 That is period. My Vessel got an S. TSK is like A. He's not very hard. Bro, hold on. Y'all, hold on. We're not just ranking difficulty. But he's too easy. I mean, he is actually easy. I ain't gonna lie, chat. for me, this is my favorite boss. I love his color scheme. He has the best OST in the game, bar none. He has a really tortured story. He has really cool animations. I'm giving him Ez. He's the best boss to me. I'm sorry. I was about to crash on our mentals and not Sisters of Battle. Oh, trust me, bro. Hollow Knight is peak. That's what I'm saying. Hollow Knight's... Dog, I don't know why I hate... Like, he is easy boss, yes. But, like... If it's for how climactic they about Rad Absolute Radiance... Oh, frick no. You ain't gonna like where I put him. I'm putting the... Ooh, boy. Ooh, boy. Ooh, boy. How about the... What? That nigga ain't getting it. Do you have a link to this list? I want to rank them myself. I'll put the link in after I rank them. Sealed Vessel might be one of my favorite songs. Facts. I'm putting him at the top of S tier. I will fight for this. The Radiance. This is normal Radiance. Biased aside, I'll give her A. Rad is... I'll give her A. I think Hollow Knight is S, but there is better. Yeah, what I do copy? Frick you. Radiance is C. Great fight, very hype. Nah, the Radiance boss fight is definitely hype. I think normal Radiance is A tier. Absolute Rad B. Rad is cool, but sometimes it feels a little annoying. She feels luck-based sometimes. And I'm putting her at A because, like, I can't simply say Radiance ain't more hype than freaking Trailer or Burger Vessel. Normal Rad can be A. Yeah, normal Rad's A. Normal Rad's A. Now, chat. I'm biased. I'm so biased. But top of A, literally right here. I think Grim, the two actually, bro, I didn't want to do this, but I'm going to do it. 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 I think that both of Grimm's variations are peak. I love the Grimm fights. Regular Grimm, I think both of them are S. They're both S. That is the, I think that's one of the, that's like top 5 boss fights in the game. AKG S for sure. Grimm in S is a stretch. What? Perfect rankings for regular Grimm. Rad Absolute Red Flag a very good end, but they're not fun as other bosses. They're not fun. Grimm play he NKG S tier, he better. Nah, NKG is definitely S tier. From the music, choreography, attacks, sauce. Not his fights cool, but his voice effects are cool. Facts. Both S tier. Stop. S tier for sure. Grimm feels like a high A. No. Grimm's better than Hornet. The Grimm fights are better than the Hornet fights, for sure. I'm sorry, they are. We're not. No. 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 Alright. Oro and Mateo. I'm not gonna lie. That's a B tier boss. Yeah, they're B tier, honestly. Oro and Mateo are B tier. I like both at S. Grimm is so fun. He better be up there. I think he's B. Or Mateo A or B. I'm thinking at top, very top of B. Very top of B. But I don't think he reaches A. Ivy? Hey Ivy, how you doing? Or Mateo decent A? I don't think they're A. I think they're B. If I'm gonna be real. Putting Grimm above Horns is fair, but he doesn't deserve to be near Mantis Lords. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. I exist. That's fire. We love it when you exist. Bro. Bro, stop. I think B is definitely Oro Mateo for sure. Next, Paint Master. Looking back on it, bro, Paint Master may go like right here. But he's not hard, but he is creative. I'm good guy. How about you? Struggling, but we move. Talking not cool with this opinion. You're not. Paymaster Shield A. Shield's an A. I think he's. Actually, nah, y'all right. Y'all are actually right. Y'all are right. Shield's an A tier. I think right below Broken Vessel. Like bottom of, bro, you already see the return? I'm not. Shield S, like he's not S tier. I think below Broken Vessel, yeah. I think Grant, hot take, Sly is low-key elite. Sly's low-key right here. I don't think Sly touches A tier. I gotta go back soon. Okay, yeah, Shield's an A and S. Sly is S. Sly is not S. Stop that cap. Sly is not an S tier phosphite. Please stop. Please stop. He is not S. He is not S. What? Bro, he's not. Sly is A. Sly is F. No, not F. Sly is B. I don't think he touches A. I think if B gets too crowded, I'll put him in A. But I don't. Y'all, Sly's not that fun. Yeah, Sly gets B. Sly's actually not that fun of a boss. Sly is A tier 4, but I like him more than Trader Lord. Trader Lord is up there. Huh? Bottom of A at least. High Knight is being disrespected right now. I can't give him A. I can't give him A. I can't give him A. Wait, what did Taco say? Hey, bro. I can't give him A. Sisters of Battle. Freaking S tier. S tier boss fight. I love fighting him because AI is very good. Fair. Hive Knight is way better than Sly. Oh, that's cat. That's cat. Sly jank as frick. True. I think Sisters of Battle is an S tier. Hive Knight is fun other than the B attack. I think Sisters of Battle is an S tier. I think that can be agreed upon. I don't think that's crazy. It improves on Mantis Swords. Sisters of Battle is S tier. Wing Nosk. Blood's going right in C. Like top of C. True, Slide's kind of quick and boring. Yeah. Okay. Easy, yes. Now, Pure Vessel. Do I like him more? These two are so similar to me. Nah, I'm lying. Pure Vessel's S. Pure Vessel's the best boss in the game. Easy S. Yeah. PVS. Oh, no, for sure. PV's S. PV's top of S. Best boss in the game. And assistance is less than S is not okay mentally. Fat. F! I'm not. No. Wing Nos F? Oh. Wing Nos F? Nah, I'll give him C. PV is the GOAT. PV is the best boss in the game. For sure. PV, no, PV, if not top it. PV is second best. I think PV is the first boss. I love PV. In fact, hold on. Actually, if I put my bias aside, the list goes like this. It goes like this. Hold on. Grim is right in between these two. Put Wing Nos below Marmu. Nos gets F. That is a boring boss fight, actually, now I think about it. Dang, y'all actually kind of right. But it's not. I'll give him D. Below D. And then Absolute Radiance. Biased aside, I don't think this boss, Pure Vessel, is the best to me just due to how climactic and punishing it is. Put the Radiance in D or F. Look at the only thing keeping people from being numbers is NKG's theme. NKG's theme goes so hard. No, Rad doesn't deserve. Rad's not F. He's not F. Rad's not F. Radiance's boss fight is hard. But no, it's not. Radiance's boss fight is only hard because you have to go through every other boss in the game to get to her. I ain't gonna lie. I'm be real with y'all, bro. I think it's a B tier for me, dog. It already feels like a good ending to the game. I think a B. I think that's a B. She's definitely B tier. In fact, Hold on, bro. Looking at this list, hold on. I'm making some changes real quick. Markov, you go here. Light Defender, you go here. And I'm gonna put... Put Arrow and Mateo in A. Put them in A. So that's a really fun boss fight. Then I put Paint Master... Nah. Actually, I'm gonna be honest. Trader Lord is actually bottom of A. Radiance. So is Soul Tyrant, actually. Soul Tyrant's also bottom of A. I think Paint Master is above Radiance. So is Broken Vessel, and... I think... Hornet's definitely just the top of A. Actually, low key, put Hornet Protector right here. I think that's it. I feel like Absolute is worse than normal radiance. She is. She definitely is. Let's go. He doesn't hate me no more. Absolute Rad Radiance scared me. Matsubi is general about, so give it to her. Out of here should be C in my opinion. He's too easy. Do you have links to this? I want to rank them myself. Yeah. Hold on. Who did he said who? Elder Hugh? Ah, yeah. Elder Hugh is a C tier, actually. That's actually true. That's a C tier. No, not Markov. Hold on. Markov's B. Yes, he is actually. No, Markov's actually a C tier. Yeah. I think this is the best list, actually. Is Miz with MP5 on, but his other guy's good upgrade to Rat. Rat, I hate Absolute. It's crap. It low-key is. He has done what Metro said on those streams ago. I'm only putting it in B tier. The Alba Goat F, yeah. Actually, Albas are D. Albas are F. They suck. Albas are not a good boss fight. I'll put them like here, but they don't touch D. Albas are better than Ventfly. That's a good point, actually. That's actually a really good point. That's a really good point, actually. That's actually a really good point. But then I'm doing it like this then. Doing it like that. Put Noah as lower than F. Oh yeah, facts. Chat, should I send the link to the blank tier list in the Discord? Yeah, go ahead, Summoner. Noah is heck on Radiant. We do the same for the silk signs and ranking the bosses? Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. Okay. No Eyes definitely should be right here. I think... No, hold on. I think this is a good list. Chat, take your screenshots. I don't like Grey Prince, Zoe, and F tier. But that's just me. Where do you think... Bro. Grey Prince is... It's just not a... I mean... This feels... That's what I'm saying. This list is very fair. This list is very fair. It's very fair. Except for Hive Knight Slander. Slide's a better boss fight than Hive Knight. That's... He is. He is. I agree with this list. That's what I'm saying. This is actually just a really good list. And Radiance is just not... Like, when you compare Radiance to, like, the bosses in S tier, she does not compare. She doesn't have the sauce, nor does she have, like, the creativity. Like, she don't compare. Now, this is that list, so... Probably gonna make a video on this later, so I'm gonna download this list. I'm gonna download it. Alright, cool. Okay. Now, we are actually... Other than Sly, and I agreed. LinkedIn didn't want to do that on ranking. Yeah. Sly F, you're bugging. High Knight Sly better than Trader Lord? Nah, I don't think so. Okay. Now, next on the to-do list, we are going to do we are going to do a ranking for all the Hollow Knight OSTs. Now, this, I don't know how I'm about to do this. I think dun, 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 dun. Actually, chat. You know, we could also rank, chat. But there's a lot of stuff we can rank, actually. There's a lot of stuff we can rank, actually. Other than Saigri, hi ESI is the always cut W cut. You should play the OST while we rate it. Nice. Rise covers are goated. Hey, bro, they are indeed. Actually, hold on. Before I rank the OSTs, not to be a bother. I want to rank. Chat, y'all want to rank the charms? I think we should rank the charms. I think the charms could be ranked. I think the charms should be ranked. Yes. Okay, bet. We're gonna rank the charms. Let's rank charms. We're gonna rank the charms now. Some are definitely gonna be above others, but that's fine. Okay. I don't recognize some charms. Okay. We're gonna rank the charms now. Okay. So first order of business, like just off rip, right? Off rip. By strength or fun. I'm doing both. I'm doing just enjoyability in general. After that, we should rank the places. I'm down with that too. Okay. Balder's Shell is D tier. I never use Balder's Shell. And I don't think it really has any uses. Balder's Shell is just garbage. If I'm gonna be real. Who is this? My headset fell. Is this the Hollow Knight? Who is this that? Shaman Stone is of course good. Okay, guys, let's do it one at a time. Balder is definitely D. I don't recognize this one actually. Hold on. I don't recognize this one. Which one? What charm is this? I don't recognize it. That allows you to dodge damage sometimes. That's from the betraying the group. True. What does it do? What does that charm do? Yeah, D. Ungot me through that fight. That one is C. Okay, I'll take your word for it. Now, Baldershot D is crazy. You think it's higher than D? That's an alt. That's alt true ending. Oh, so it doesn't matter. I'll put it C. This is the Dashmaster D. Dashmaster serves no purpose. I wonder why Team Chan turned one of the charms to essential Minato. No idea. You don't even use all. You didn't even use all these charms, bro. I use most of them. And I used Balder's Shell for a little bit. That Joker was not good. Carefree Meta is decent, but not good by most standards. That's Carefree Meta. It has the chance to not take damage. Oh. I'll put a B. Just for the... No, it needs to be... Negating damage every few hits. I'll put it B. I'll put it B then. I'll put it B. The charm. Okay. Man, this guy's some kind of agenda for sure. Dashmaster's Ed. Chat, who actually has used Dashmaster? Dashmaster can be C. It's not worthless, bro. I have never. It truly, bro. Truly, with Dashmaster, it serves no purpose to me. At an F tier, low key. Cost 3 notches. 3 notches is kind of nasty. Hold on. Hold on. I'm gonna add a row. F tier. Make that junk black. Oh, shoot. I fricked up. Hold on. Delete row. Delete row. I think I put that junk as red. Okay. No, now it looks like... hold on. There we go. I'll put UC, I guess. Oh, wait, no, it fricked up. Hold on, bro. God dang it, bro. Hold on. This is very weird. There we go. Make that jump pink. Okay. Dashman helped out some raids. I'll put C personally. I thought Carefree was 2. Notice that it gives you down dash. What fights? Yeah, that's not dash master use, but not that useful. Never mind, since they put it back down. It's okay. It helped me with slide. Defocus is good for white powers as I was low on soul. Nah, Carefree melee goated. You're bugging. Dash master down master. I am playing the Soakson chat. 8, that's fire. I think Dash Master is definitely D tier. I put it top of D. Then you go to C tier, because I know you're 3. Quick Focus, I'll get B tier. I get Quick Focus B tier. High Buzz better than Deep Focus. Uh-oh. Hold on. There, wait. Give me a second. Something happened. Defocus was B or S because of White Palace. Hold on. There we go. Sorry. Deep Focus because of White Palace. Oh my gosh, that's how it's a great game sitting in 85. High Buzz is better than Deep Focus. That was deep, not quick. This is usually the casual trying not to sweat. I understand your rankings now. The fact that you think that, you know what? Whatever. Not Quick Focus. What is that? Oh, that's Deep Focus. What is Deep Focus? What? That was deep, not quick. So what? Does that give you charm over the area? Or is that the one that or is that the one that does the it does the you heal faster. Hive is B because of White Palace, so Deep Focus is C. But the thing is though, High Blood is only double healing. Oh, that's Deep Focus, not Quick Focus. My fault. Then hold on. You're in C tier just like him then. You're in C tier just like him. He gets 2 instead of 1. Yeah, it's going right back in C tier. Cause ain't that junk 4 too? Yeah, you're in C. Double healing but slower. Yeah. What? Defocus makes you take long to heal, but you heal 2 hearts. Yeah, put that junk in C. Okay. Defocus is good for specific situation for like parkour, I think. Nah, but it's 4. Yeah, it's 4 chart. Yeah, nah, it's that he may go in D. Not gonna lie. Baldur's Shell. I only recently found out that this actually gives you discounts and shop keeps. But other than that, I'm gonna say it's a mid tier because it has no other purpose. So Defenders is D. Defenders Crest is F. It's only good for 1 use. Honestly, I'll put it D because it's still more useful than the other ones. Because at least you get discounts in shops. D for alright, bro. The discounts are a really good thing. Yeah, but that's the thing that puts it in B. That's it. Man, defense of a Baldur's Shell is, bro. I don't know how you think Baldur's Shell is. Wait, you can save money in shops with that? Apparently so. Yeah. That's why I'm putting it B tier. It's a mid charm. Alright, next. Dream Shield. Also D. Also D. Not gonna explain why. The Dream Wielder. A. That is an A tier. Wait, Baldur is useless, low leg and tug handy. Defender currently good for Lost King Brokovich, so yeah, kinda trash. Nice. I'm putting Dream Shield go D. Yeah, Dream Shield D, but Dream Wielder's an A. I agree, 100%. Okay, cool. Okay. W stream. Royal? Royal! Yo, hold on. Everyone pause. Royal Fist was one of my first subscribers, and I haven't seen him in years. Royal, how are you, man? Bro, I missed you, bro. I hope you're doing good. I hope you're doing good, man, really. I truly hope you're doing good. Dream shit is F and I'm saying it. It may go down to F. That junk is useless. F still trying to activate disadvantage. Dream would have saved Metro P5 run. That ain't crazy. Dream would also save me in the pantheons in the Coliseum. So I do love me some Dream Motor. Fluke Worm. What does Fluke Worm do again? Fluke Worm what? It makes the Soul Wave a bunch of pests. I guess bottom C. Dream says, okay, chilling, bro. How you been? Bro, obviously, as you can see, we've been grinding, bro. The community is so much bigger than we first had it, bro. I hope you've been doing well, though, bro. I miss you, man. Fluke is OP if used right. Is it? Where? Fluke makes your blast do more damage, so decent for boss button. That is 3 charms. You might as well equip. That's what I'm saying. You might as well equip Shaman Stone, so it's pretty much useless. Dream Shell is F and it's my fave. Fluke can be S if used right. Tier list. Johnson! Yes, we already did the bosses. We already did the bosses, so now we're doing the charms. Chat, I'm not hearing you. I ain't gonna lie, I'm not hearing you. Fluke can get each hit twice. Does that mean next stream with Silk Song? If I have the money for it, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to buy it. We'll see. Fluke is disgustingly good. Really? I must be asleep. But I gotta ask, if Fluke Worm's so good, you could exploit Fluke. It's so buggy and broken. But I gotta ask though, what's the point if it just upgrades like one of your spells? Just use Shaman Stone and have all your spells upgraded for the same amount of charm slots. I've been seeing you shine. Sweat Royal Fist with a $2 donate. Bro, I love you, bro. I love you so much, bro. I love you so much, bro. I love you, bro. I love you with my whole heart, bro. I love you, bro. I appreciate you for real, bro. Fluke gets OP if used right, but if casual players maybe a D tier. Chat, y'all forget this is a casual player's channel. Fluke ain't that in any player radar. True. W Royal, W Royalty, W Community. Brother, you just made it better. Man, Royal, bro. Where'd the time go, bro? Where'd the time go? We usually going back and forth in fighters, man. Where'd the time go, man? Ah, man. Royal. You can force a double hit with each fluid a proper shot. There's like 3 more times, but I never used it. WC, WQB, W Royal. All hell, Royal chat. I love you. I love you too. Hey, bro. Y'all. That's my boy right there. That's the gang. That's my boy right there, man. This means something to me. Hey, bro, let me not cry. Let me not cry on stream again, bro. That was gonna be crying though. All right. Anyway, this is the Fragile Greed. B tier. I think Fragile Greed's B tier. No. Greed is B. Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking Greed's B. Wait, for this, the boss tier list, are you based on how difficult your enjoyment? Both. This chat is so nice. I know, I love you guys. I wish Bob was here. I do wish Bob was here to see this. Because Bob would have loved ranking these tier lists, but she's not here right now. I don't know, man. Need to come to us so get rolled back. As soon as we get it, we can run some sets. Brother, you have my... I hope you got my Discord. If you don't, let me know. I'll send it in chat. But... Actually, hold on, Royal. Hold on, Royal. Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna stop the whole stream for this. Royal, if you want to join, I'm gonna make... Hold on. Let's see. I think what I can do for you... Greeting Corner Wiggies 200 Hunt Sim produce a pretty good B tier. Yeah, very useful. You want to stutter again with Bob? Anyway, I got this Discord download right now, bro. When you download it, join that. That's our server, bro. We're gonna get you in there, bro. You a samurai through and through. You should already be in there. Now my fragile is. You want to start again with Bob? Bro, Bob makes the streams a lot better, to be fair. I do really enjoy Bob's presence in the streams. But hold on. I gotta go. I'll BRB. See you, Abby. Now, hold on, chat. I will say this, though. Fragile Health, I think it's also B, but Fragile... Hey. Wait, hold on. Is that Fragile Strength or Unbreakable Strength? Nah, that's Fragile Strength. Fragile Strength's A tier. Top of A. Just an A. It's A tier. Top of A. By Fragile good for early falls up when the enemy start doing double damage. That's what I'm saying. Goodbye. Fragile Strength is A. Fragile Strength definitely A. I think Fragile Hearts is good for early game, as Danny said. But after early game, it's just useless. Fury is C for casual. Hot take, bro. Fury may be like C, like bottom of C, bro. Fury is not that good. Strength is S tier, truly. Unbreakable Strength is for sure. I think Fury of the Fallen is actually that's C tier, bro. Fury only good if you're crazy. That's the thing. You have to get low health, and that's just not good. Fury's S tier for pros. Well, nigga, we ain't pros over here, bruh. Boy, we ain't pros over here. I'm not trying to speedrun a boss. Fury is C tier. Fury is C tier. It's so for good with your end game. It makes you do 57 damage when I want to be solo for a god game. That's the you're at 1 bro, you're at 1 HP though. Fury's all potential and skill. Like what? You're semi-pro, you're P5? The frick I am. Bro, Fury is C. I'm not. Fury's a C tier. Fury's C tier. It really doesn't. It don't add up. Okay, now Reckless. This top of B. I think it's right below Fragile Hearts. It's really good for collecting Geo. If you're no life, then it's S times 50, but casually B at highest. Star Wars is not worth. Probably C for me. I feel you. The Geo Charm though, the one that puts Geo to you, definitely a B tier. The potential amount of charm along with Chief Seal. Hey, bro. If only. Now this one drains your soul. This is an F tier. That's dead low-key at disadvantage. The pet? He's cute. I'll put him right here. Doesn't do much. I love that. Gathering Swarm A, love that thing. I know, right? Never. I thought Gathering was Star Wars. Nah. I know you do. Okay, bro. Chat, look. This charm, idea-wise, like concept-wise, this charm is so cool. But in actual game, it's C tier. Grubber is B. S tier. What, the pet? Pet's not S. I'm sorry, the pet ain't S, bro. Let's go, Grimchild. Grimchild is gonna be middle of B, bro. Grimchild's middle of B. Thank you, my friend. Of course. Grubber's like Fury with no risk. Grubber's top 5 charm. No, it's not. What? Yo, hold on, bro. Grubber's top 3 actually? Dog, no, it's not. My goal of Radiant. Grubfly is as good at every point in the game. Grubfly is actually pretty useful trying to do Radiant Abasso and the Hall of Gods. Gradient, Grub Song save my. I know Grub's song, but Grubber Fly, I would marry it if I could. Alright, bro, hold on. Grub Song is immediate B to S tier, especially for our passive boss who don't give soul on hit. No, Grubber Song's going. Hold on. In fact, I'm gonna keep a buck with y'all. Get a buck with y'all, chat. Grubber Song is an S tier for sure. But Grub Song's an S, but I don't see Grubber Fly in S, bro. Y'all are. Chat BRB. Alright, Radiance. Is actually useful trying to do Radiant Abasso? I don't see it. Y'all gotta talk to me, bro. Y'all just tapped into Discord. I appreciate you, Royal. Grubsong pretty good since it's one sharp slot and you give soul. Grubber Flies is insane. I don't see it. Grubber Flies, that's what I'm saying. Grubber Flies mad. Grubber Flies low B at best. I tried. I didn't like it. I don't see the point of like. Why would you have Grubberfly if you could have Mark of Pride? By the way, you know about the charm combinations? Yes, I know. But I know a couple of them. Heavy blow. Heavy blow's a C, I guess. It's there. High blood's only gonna be bottom of B because of White Palace. Light blood. F tier. Grubberfly is the best charm for Radiant. Oh no, I'm sleep. I'm sleep. Heavy is F. All right. Hey, you know what? I was trying to be nice, but shoot, I'm with it. That's a waste of a charm slot. Lifeblood. Lifeblood. I'll give it C. Heavy is actually a disadvantage. It is. Grubberfly is not gonna let you do rating difficulty on best, aka one-shot difficulty. Yeah, I'm good off that. Heavy is F. I agree. I think Lifeblood C is fair. I never use any Lifeblood charms. Grubberfly carries. I feel like the first Lifeblood charm is low Deemer like. I used it for trailer and nothing else. The High Bloods is actually low key. Low key, bro. I ain't gonna lie, chat. Y'all may hate me. This is low key going below, like all of these guys. No, not you, buddy. Not you. You're going below all of them. Lifeblood just ain't good. If this gets less than F, I'll be so mad. Lifeblood good for Shellbind. I use for trailers. I guess King Soul F. Oh yeah, what's King Soul? What is that? I don't recall this charm. I don't recall this charm. What is it? I don't recall it. Some charms I don't have. There's like 6 I don't have. But I don't know what that charm does. King Soul's an automatic F. I hate King Soul. 5 charm slots. The final life blood is the best one to admit. King Soul carry my flower run, so S. Let it give you super slow free. Wait, what? King Soul F junk sucked. I hate King Soul. 5. Damn. Dog tonight is D. King Soul's F. It regens 4 soul every second for 5 notches. Oh. But gets replaced for Void Heart? Oh. So infinite healing. King Soul is good specific for Markov. It's useless. Yeah, that is pretty useless. I'm not gonna lie. What the frick? That is an F. I mean, okay, no. F tier is like, it's that could be useful though. So I put it in C. Cause I feel like D tier is like they can't be used. C tier, like they are bad, but they can be used. Like you can use that. That can be used. It's not F tier. It's not F tier. It's not F tier. F tier is like horrible disadvantage, can never be used. Since when you got deep into Hollow Knight? A month ago. Since a month ago, gang. King Soul very slowly regens soul and it gets pushed forward after like 10 minutes. Yeah. This gets replaced so you know it sucks. King F, C. You need 33 soul for spell heal. Oh, that it. Oh, wait, y'all got a point. Y'all got a point, actually. Yeah, y'all got a point. Yeah, that's D tier. That's D tier. This charm, just gonna put both these in F, to be honest. Actually, put you both in B and D, I guess. Put you above you guys, but you guys do not. I don't see you. I don't see anyone running y'all. King Soul Sub, that's half your charms. Yeah, Barter Show can be used, but I respect the decision. I don't see it. What the frick? It's in negative. Tell me the lore of Hollow Knight. Bro. It get good. King's only good for parkour, really, and High Blood's better. Gang, I ain't gonna lie. You're actually in the perfect stream for this because later we're gonna be watching mossbag lore. So we're actually gonna just all watch the whole lore of Hollow Knight together. So yeah. King's only good for parkour, really, and High Blood is better. You never even get to use King Hugger, you get to play 70 games just for fun. It's just too expensive, yeah. Elgato, no signal. I found it. I got it. Okay, back yeah. Long nail, easy, yes. Wife auto credit since you enjoyed. What? Okay, I'm back. Hey, Ivy. Same one, Mark. Okay. Chat. He don't know the lore himself, really? I don't. Alright. Long nail, high B or A. Y'all gonna hate me for this. It's just like. It's like right here. Mark of Pride is just better. Mark of Pride is just better, bro. Mark of Pride literally just oh my gosh, it negs it, bro. Mossbag lore, I bet Moss. Well, you excited, Summer? He is. I love Mossbag lore. I did promise I'd watch it on stream, so we're gonna do that. But I ain't gonna lie, Lawndale's a B tier, bro. I don't even know if I like it at B tier. Cause the thing is about Longnail like high C, mid B. Mark of Pride is better. That's what I'm saying. Like, Longnail just gets replaced by Mark of Pride so bad. It just get negs. Like C tier, I wouldn't even be mad at C tier. It's useful in some charm builds when you don't want to over charm yourself. But honestly, like it's just not that useful. No Master's Glory. I'm not gonna lie. For me, it's like B tier, but I respect it. So that junk going in A tier. I respect it. I never liked London more of a D best player than anything. Like C tier. Wait. Why is Grimchild in B tier? Gets mobbed by Mark of Pride. That's what I'm saying. It's getting mocked by it. You said why is Grimchild in B tier? Because it's useful for like it can attack things, but other than that, it is. Okay, now that's quick focus. I know that's quick focus. That heals you faster. I guess bottom of B. I guess. Yeah, I'm about to say B. I guess bottom of B. Quick slash S tier. Just Shaman Stone. If you're trying to run a who am I kidding? That's S tier. Who am I kidding? It's S. It's S. It's S. It's S. Quick focus C, maybe B. I'm saying B. Quick fight A for good for learning fights. Then I go in one charm cost 2 D for some boss. I give B low A. Yeah, I'm giving it A. Yeah, high B no. Shaman Stone is S. Shaman Stone is definitely S. I'm sorry. Shaman Stone is just really. Shaman Stone's good. Shaman Stone's actually a really good fight, bro. I mean, a really good charm. Jump buffs you to oblivion. Best charm in the game, not the best charm, but it's up there for the best charm. I ain't gonna lie to you. Quick slash, also S tier. Just a good charm. I love you too, bro. Now this one, I don't know what this is, but I'm gonna assume it's a D tier because it doesn't even look cool. Sharp Shadow. Chat, hear me. Sharp Shadow's A. Shape of Un is B. Oh, that's Shape of Un? Oh. Shape of Un C? Nah, that junk going in D. That junk is going in D, Your Honor. I'll put it top of D, but it ain't going to C. Border Shell Shape of is a good combo. Oh. I guess that would be a good combo. Nah, D tier is crazy. It makes it so you can move while you heal. Turns you into a slug so you can move while healing. Sharp Shadow S. I want Sharp Shadow S here, but 2 notches. 2 notches is crazy. Quick focus, in my opinion, is great for some bosses. Getting a whole extra heal can be custom since you can be good for a few bosses. Soul Catcher F. Yeah, that's good. I'm putting Shape of under D. I'm not gonna change my mind on that. To the point. Soul Catcher. Soul Catcher is actually right here. I feel like Soul Catcher is... Nah, hold on. Right here. It's a C tier. It's a C tier. Soul Catcher is more useful than these charms, though. Especially on Soul... yeah, so... Good thing Metro's in here. Yikes. Sharp Shadow more like low A. Nah. Sharp Shadow's gas. Please stop. That's what... Sharp Shadow's I think Sharp Shadow's my favorite charm in the game, so I'm biased. I'm biased on it. It's a bias, but I'll be honest. Everything in this bias. Yeah, Soul Catcher F is 2 notches, doesn't do anything. Soul Catcher C, nah, bro, you ain't ever even use Soul. I did, actually, I swear I did. Soul Catcher is 2, no, it gives you more Soul, no. Soul Catcher came in clutch for some bosses with me. Soul Catcher D or low F. It's more useful than these charms, though. I never know Soul Catcher gave extra soul to me, but Soul Catcher go to for Soul Bind? True. I'm saying C. I don't recall this, so I'm put you in F. I don't know what that charm does. Now if I'm doing Soul Bind, I'm doing all the others. I did, but I feel like it's not too big a... It gives you 14 instead of 11, which can come in clutch sometimes. Soul Eater is low C because it's 4 chunk. Oh, that's Soul Eater. Yeah, put that at literally the backbone of Soul Bind. I love Soul. Yeah, Soul Catcher is C or D. I'm saying that's what I'm saying. C. However, Soul Eater is 4, but it does give you a lot more charm. I'll put you. I could see some. I could see this working for some spell builds. Soul Eater is just a better Soul Catcher. No, it's not. It costs 4. It makes you draw more soul when you hit stuff. Soul Eater is better Soul Catcher for 4 notches. That's what I'm saying. You get 4 notches though. So that's why I think it's below it. I think if anything, I put it like right here, maybe right here. 4 notches is a lot. I don't recall this charm. I don't recall it. So you're taking up half of your charms, while the humble only take 2. That's what I'm saying. So you're pretty good for spell bots. With Shaman, so you can do 145 with 2 hits. When I'm saying it's good for spell builds, but without spell builds, it's not really good for anything else. It's so much better. I made it. Whiz, what's goody? You missed the first half of the stream, but it's okay. You got the second half. It's insane in catcher builds, but is it enough? I don't know. I'll put it there. I ain't gonna change it. Spell Twister A. What is Spell Twister? I don't have that charm, so I don't know what it does. Bro, you're a madman. I'm putting it there because I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. What is it? What is it? Is what I'm asking. Spell Twister F? It's not gonna stay there. Dang, that boss's tier list is crazy. I feel like it's valid. But chat, A at least. A or B for Spell Twister. Sport 1 cost you a minute task out when you heal. It pairs with Defender Crest. He never got Spell Twister in his run. I didn't. Ruinous spell cost, but Ruinous, it can have you do forces with 1 full soul thing. Make spells cheaper. Ooh. Oh my gosh. Oh my. I'm sorry. You're going right here. And then, okay, you said that this heals you. Ooh, that's actually really good. Put you B. Top of B. That's useful. Spell type reduces spell. You can use 4 instead of 3. It costs less to use spells. 112% win. Frick no. Silk Side is playing about mental health. I'm so sorry, not again. So sub to the channel, my boy, so that it can try both of our healths. Spells are good for spells, making spell cost half. So it's only 2 cards. Oh yeah, that's an A. For Soulbot. Oh, that's an A. 2 notches too. Oh, that may be more useful than actually. Hold on, bro. You're going right here. Sprint Master. Bottom of B. Bottom of B is fine. High C. I think bottom of B is fine. I think it's more useful than Soul Eater. But now it's useful for the other ones. Smash was great, easy A. Well, that type is it goes when you heal, it doesn't make you heal. I know, Toss a Cloud, just. Actually, hold on, chat. Hold on, chat room. Hold the freaking fracking phone. Put this here. No, here. Smaragd is actually pretty decent for some boss fights, so put that junk here. Maybe even above. No, not above. Right there. 1 notch goated Spell Twister placement. Nah, I didn't know it was that goated. I was asleep. Freaking C tier. Steady body. S. Just S. Fury of Thorns. Okay, these are the unbreakable versions. Still B. Still B. Then C. S. And then hold on. Actually, hold on. Hold on. Hold on. I know I'm probably gonna give chat an aneurysm, but hold on. Y'all gotta work with me here. I think that we can all agree that Wayward Compass. Where's Wayward Compass? We can all agree that Wayward Compass Where'd it go? Chat, where'd it go? The goat. Okay. Cool. Chat, this is the tier list. Steady by his S. I think this is the tier list, bro. Your Cup was so good. You know what Boyhard does, by the way? It makes it so the dude isn't attacker, so I'm putting in S. Waiver Cup is carried every place first play, no one can say otherwise. Facts. That's your leg or a giant egg. It's my leg. We can only see you at the moment. I know. See you later, guys. See us, guy. I think this is pretty concise. Pretty concise, man. Waiver Compass gotta be an S, bro. That is the charm. That is the charm, and that charm has carried playthroughs. Low key, bro. It needs its own tier. It needs its own tier. The GOAT. And then I guess, I don't know. F, I guess. I don't know what that thing is. I don't give a frick. Quickside is the best Compass is. Bro, it is. Low-key barrels, Steady by overrated. No, not bad, not that useful. What? Nah, Strength and Unbreakable 1 are in the same tier. No, because Breakable Strength is not as good as Unbreakable Strength. Because in Unbreakable Strength, you can die, you ain't gotta pay freaking 500 Geo to get it back. That's what I'm saying. Is some of those little spiders that attack? Oh, yes. What does Weaver Song do, chat? Yeah, this is an S. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think this is a pretty concise tier list, honestly. Compass is the reason when I have the mental breakdown at Hollow Knight. Exactly. No 112%. Frick no. Unless someone drop $100 right now. No. Weaver Song summons the 3 small spiders. Valid. I think outside of God Home, they are not of the same reliability. Hello, Nate well, dang. Hello, Nate. How you doing, my boy? Welcome to the stream. Make sure to subscribe and share the stream with other people that you think may like it. Weaver Song summons 3 Weaverlings who attack anyone who is near you. Yeah, get the frick out of here. That just that. Well, no, that's not S. That's not F. Hold on. I'll put it C. Heart and Greed are close, but still. I think this. Alright, I'm out, brother man. Peace out, my boy. God bless you. 100 Zimbabwe dollars. Now 100 American USD dollars. I'm out, man. W7 tap the next one. I got heck of homework. Hey, bro. Get that homework done, my boy. I appreciate you being here, and I love you, brother. Goodbye. But yeah, see you at night. Chad, you want to do your own ranking? Join the Discord and find a link to the charm. Yeah, y'all can do your own rankings. You can send it to me, and I can rate them. I'm not gonna lie. I don't see. This is just a perfect tier list. I'm not gonna lie, it's perfect. I think this tier list is just low-key perfect, and I don't think that's really crazy. All right, cool. Now, see, here's the thing, chat. I don't know if I wanna rate the OSTs. When do we plan on watching Mossbag? Dang, it's 9:43 already. Fuck. You know what, chat? Let's do a poll. Let's try to do that poll. Oh, frick. I didn't do that right. Hold on. I did not do that right. Hold on. Yeah, because we're not going to be able to do one. Alright. Vote! Votes. Y'all can pick loot. All OST A and S. That's what I'm saying. Because a lot of OSTs was really good, so be a lot of AS. Most of it was like an hour and a half, by the way. All right then. Hold on, you said it's a. You said that junk is a freaking You said it's how long, twin? You said that junk was a freaking hour and a half? That's crazy. Okay. If mossbag lore is that long, then let's go ahead and do the thing then, cause it's winning right now, so we can kind of go ahead and just switch to it. Shoot, I'm gonna watch that later. Mossbag Hollow Knight lore. All right, y'all been wanting me to watch this for ages. An hour 17. God. Oh lordy, this is gonna be something. This will be a lot, chat. This definitely will be a lot. Let's go and end this poll. We're gonna do the mossbag lore because I did say we're gonna do mossbag lore. And yeah, let's get it started. Question is, how am I about to? Actually, I'm about to do it. Hold on. All right, and then this will obviously be at the end of Okay. All right, chat. Mossbag lore time. All right, let's get it. All right, let's get it. Share people who want to watch it. Let's get it. All right. Before I really don't care. I'm just texting the screen. Lol. Dang. I need to get the plushies. Huh? Wait a minute. Hold on. Can't hear anything. Mute. I literally just thought about it. Hold on. Call me. I got it. Fixing it.
Every nook and cranny, be that powerful charms, special abilities, or
I got it.
The game's navigation system requires the player to work for their map, forcing them to make a stronger map.
We can go back. We're good. Y'all start yelling at me. Dang. All right. Turn the volume.
If you were to ask me, what is your favorite video game ever made? I would have to say Cory in the House for the Nintendo DS.
No,
but Hollow Knight would be a close second. Hollow Knight was released on February 24th, 2017 by Team Cherry, an indie game studio based in the mythical land of Adelaide, South Australia. Over the past 3 years, Hollow Knight has become an indie darling. The game has sold over 3.5 million copies. It was the opening game at ADGQ 2019. There's a Hollow Knight book, a line of plushies, t-shirts, nicotine patches, nuclear warheads, and even vinyl records for all you goddamn hipsters. Team Cherry had one goal when making Hollow Knight. They wanted to create a world that allowed players to get completely lost in exploration. We can see this desire in Hollow Knight's design. The levels in Hollow Knight are massive, with secrets and rewards hidden in every nook and cranny, be that powerful charms, special abilities, or the game's navigation system requires the player to work for their map, forcing them to make a stronger mental image of the world in their head. Christopher Larkin's score and Ari Gibson's artwork lend to this as well, creating an atmosphere that the player won't want to leave. But there's one aspect of Hollow Knight that keeps people like me coming back: the world building.
There's a lot of world building.
When Super Metroid launched in 1994, it stood out for its amazing sense of immersion. Now in 1994, I was busy not being alive, but I've watched enough YouTube video essays to know that this game was a big deal. In case you didn't know, Super Metroid is basically the granddaddy of all Metroidvanias. That's why they're called Metroidvanias. Now in Super Metroid, there are moments that give the player a sense of depth. Basically the feeling that this world exists outside of Samus's interactions with it. In the room right before that diabetic crocodile thing, Samus can find the corpse of a random soldier. His inclusion here doesn't change the gameplay at all, but instead gives the player a sense of wonder about the world they are exploring. Who was this guy? Why was he here in the first place? Did he like jazz? Now, finding dead bodies and other random garbage is pretty cool, right? Well, Hollow Knight basically does the same thing, about a dozen times.
Yeah.
Through its world building, Hollow Knight turns Hallownest into a living kingdom. You can sense the ancient history of the land when you look at dilapidated structures or giant barred doors. Nothing feels like it was put into the game randomly. There's a reason for it all. Except those reasons aren't the easiest to uncover. Hollow Knight's narrative is buried under layers of NPC dialogue, item descriptions, lore tablets, and even additional content like the Quarrel comic and Fangamer's Wanderer's Journal. These past 3 years have seen an insane amount of research by the Hollow Knight community to make sense of Team Cherry's sprawling world. We've even made it to the point where people are looking at the in-game signs to try and decipher Hallownest's logographic language. In this video, I hope to give you a long and detailed look into the world of Hollow Knight, exploring Hallownest's history and uncertain future. When I'm not busy making surprisingly accurate Super Smash Bros. Roster speculation videos, or insightful podcasts about beloved subjects like the Donkey Kong Country television series, or whatever this was supposed to be, I'm usually making videos about Hollow Knight. And while I am a seasoned Hollow Knight lore expert, I cannot confirm that every musing or theory presented in this video is completely correct. I highly recommend checking out the lore section of the Hollow Knight wiki if you want a more neutral explanation of Hollow Knight's lore. But if you're too lazy to read, then I suggest you sit back, order some Domino's pizza, or just grab a block of cheese from the fridge and enjoy the mostly complete lore of Hollow Knight.
What makes Zaxby's giant chicken finger quesadilla so giant?
Oh my goodness.
Crispy fingers, sauce, and melty cheese. Cheese. Zaxby's giant chicken finger quesadillas. Who's got the sauce?
It's a simple fact of life that every human worships a god, be that technology, ideologies, or in rare cases, God. As it turns out, the bugs in Hallownest pretty much operate in the same way. From the mosskin born from the dream of a giant slug, to the emo kids of the ancient civilization who literally worship the darkness, there is no shortage of things to worship in the world of Hollow Knight. Our story begins with a creature very much worthy of worship. A creature born from the carcass of a worm. The carcass can still be found in the Kingdom's Edge, and it's our only good look at what worms actually look like. At the time Hollow Knight occurs, it is suggested there are no worms left in the world. They were incredibly long creatures that featured little to no limbs. Another more mysterious property of worms was that they had some kind of prescience or foresight. Basically, they could see the future to some capacity. It isn't clear how effective this ability was. Considering how the entire race went extinct, this foresight ability must have been pretty shit. Getting back to this particular worm carcass, it is explained that this worm traveled across the distant mountains and wastelands beyond Hallownest. Once it arrived in Hallownest, the worm died. Wow. Except not really. Inside the maw of the carcass sits a pale broken egg, out of which hatched a new form of worm, a being of meager shell. This form of the worm is usually referred to as the Pale King. And he's the character basically responsible for everything that happens in Hollow Knight.
So the worm that we saw was
the Pale King is a higher being, a type of creature that exists above all others. His body was said to shine with a radiant visage that harmed those who looked upon him. The ultimate goal of the Pale King seemed to be in line with that of other worms. A line from the cryptic Mr. Mushroom reads, "Worms pull bugs into their thrall, till ages pass and kingdoms fall." In other words, it's just in their nature. Dogs wag their tails, cats bury their shit, and worms bring massive amounts of bugs into their service in order to form long-standing kingdoms and civilizations. And here in a far corner of the world, the Pale King emerged from the corpse of his former self and began to build his eternal kingdom, Hallownest. There's this one slight problem. There's like people already living there.
Yeah.
The area that would eventually become Hallownest was already filled with mantises, bees, moths, spiders, mushrooms, and bush cosplayers. Each of these groups were already operating with their own cultures and societies, and each group had a different interaction with the Pale King. One of the more receptive groups to the arrival of the Pale King were the mushrooms of the fungal wastes. These creatures were able to communicate with one another through one shared mind. The mushrooms viewed this shared mind as a strength, and they were kind of smug dickheads about it. Ultimately, the mushrooms wearily accepted the Pale King's rule, viewing his foresight as a shield to the dangers of the future. Another group living in the fungal wastes is the Mantis tribe. The Mantises have a rich cultural history reaching back to long before the birth of Hallownest. The Mantises are a proud tribe, believing in the importance of proving one's physical strength. The Mantises are fiercely territorial, but will show respect to those who display great power. These Fight Club enthusiasts were led by 4 powerful Mantis lords, who I guess just kind of sat around waiting for outsiders to challenge them. The Mantis tribe had no interest in the Pale King's kingdom, but the 2 communities did come to a truce. In exchange for their independence from Hallownest, the Mantis tribe kept the beasts of Deepnest from invading Hallownest. Not sure why they didn't just go out the other exits from Deepnest, but whatever. I'm not an expert on border patrol. I don't work at ICE anymore. Let's move on to Deepnest. Now, many of the different tribes of Hallownest were kind enough to leave lore tablets behind, detailing pretty much everything we need to know about them. Unfortunately, the bugs of Deepnest didn't do that. We know that the spiders of Deepnest had a monarchy because why not? Those are always good, right? Also, within Deepnest are a separate group of spiders that immigrated to Deepnest at some point in the past. This group was known as the Weavers, and they established their own culture and history within Deepnest. They used looms of silk to weave stories, spells, and shields. One thing we know for sure about Deepnest is that they really didn't want anything to do with Hallownest. The struggles of Deepnest-Hallownest relations would become painfully clear as time goes on, but for right now, it seems like the 2 remained fairly isolated from one another. Another section of pre-Hallownest includes Greenpath. Now, as far as we can tell, the mushrooms, mantises, and spiders of Deepnest didn't worship any higher beings. There is this giant mushroom corpse in the fungal core, but I don't think this is a higher being. I mean, who the hell would want to worship a fat-ass mushroom? Fat-ass slugs? Now that's dope. The land we know as Greenpath was created by the higher being known as Un. Un used her great mind to dream the vegetation of Greenpath into the once barren caverns. Un's followers, the Mosskin, were also born out of Un's dream, making her their creator. Greenpath at its height was actually much larger than we see in game. At one point, Greenpath stretched into both modern-day Queen's Garden and possibly Fog Canyon. Greenpath's citizens showed themselves to be a fairly developed society. They built a temple at the Lake of Un in order to worship her, and they even had their own line of defense, with Moss Knights showing proficiency in combat, using nails and shells as weapons. The Law of Un continued to remain in effect even after the Pale King arrived, but it seems like they allowed the king to establish a road through their lands, leading travelers to the heart of Hallownest. Hence the name Greenpath. Yeah, Team Cherry really racked their brains when naming this area, didn't they? Next, we have the bees. And while there is no lore on how these bees can turn into fucking drills, or how they can ignore all known laws of aviation, we do know how they reacted to the Pale King. These bugs decided to seal their hive off from the rest of the world, with only patrol bees being able to enter and exit the hive. So yeah, the bees are pretty much pointless in this story. And
welcome to a delicious destination full of flavor, where aromatic, freshly ground.
And finally, we have the Moth tribe. In-game, the only moth settlement is in the resting grounds, but the tribe might have also inhabited the Crystal Peak at one point. Now, as we all know, moths in real life are just complete assholes. As for the moths in Hollow Knight, well, it's a bit complicated. The moth race is described as being a rather pacifist group, with few ever choosing to take up a weapon. During the Pale King's reign, the moth race delved amongst dreams and the dead, displaying the importance of remembering those who have passed, as well as learning how to shape dreams themselves. Similar to the Mosskin, The Moth tribe was born from a higher being known as the Radiance. The Radiance is described as being a light in which the Moth tribe basked, so she was basically a giant lamp to them. Another important aspect about the Radiance is her ties to dreams and a substance known as essence. Essence are the remains of wishes and dreams, and are represented in-game by these dreamcatcher particle effects. Essence can take the form of whispering roots, as well as dream ghosts, both of which are memories taking root in the world. The Radiance appears to be a creature made of essence, but she isn't the only higher being to give off essence. Un has green particles, the Pale King has gray particles, and this sexy character named Grim gives off fiery red particles.
My boy.
However, the Radiance appears to be the main god when it comes to dreams, even if other gods also dabble in the dream realm. Getting back to the Moth tribe, it is their interaction with the Pale King that we need to discuss. Basically, the Moths turned their backs on the Radiance completely in order to worship the new light that had appeared, the Pale King's light. So yeah, Moths are assholes in this game too. With her tribe forsaking her, the Radiance became a forgotten memory, a remnant of the past, and a thing that's definitely not going to come up again later in this video. And so the Pale King's new kingdom was established, Hallownest. But there is one aspect of Hallownest that we need to discuss. Unfortunately, to better understand this, we're going to have to read some poetry. In Wilds Beyond they speak your name with reverence and regret. For none could tame our savage souls, yet you the challenge met. Under palest watch you taught, we changed. Base instincts were redeemed. A world you gave to bug and beast as they had never dreamed. This is from a poem titled Elegy for Hallownest, written by Motomon the Teacher. The poem appears at the beginning of every playthrough, and hints at what the Pale King and his kingdom offered. Much of the land outside of Hallownest appears to be a wasteland, where bugs survive off of instinct, without the burden of mind. Hallownest somehow taught these bugs and tamed their savagery. Basically, the Pale King changed the instincts of his subjects and granted them higher thought. To get a better picture of this, let's look at two different characters, Boone and Tuck. These adorable panda bug things give us a clear display of Hallownest's effect. While both appear to be the same species of bug, Boone is dumb as a sack of rocks, struggling to string together words, while Tuck speaks fairly clearly. The main difference between these two characters is that while Boone lives outside of Hallownest, Tuck lives beneath the city's capital. Basically, it appears as though Hallownest is a literal holy ground that raises the intelligence of those who dwell within. The Pale King established a path, starting from the kingdom's entrance in King's Pass, winding through Greenpath and the fungal wastes, and finally ending at the massive capital at Hallownest's heart. We now know the capital city as the City of Tears, but that was likely not its original name. The rain that falls down onto the city from the blue lake above didn't begin until after the kingdom collapsed. So unless the capital was originally named by some edgy literature student, the name City of Tears wouldn't have made much sense. The king's motivation for all this appears to have been his desire to be worshipped. The citizens of Hallownest believe that the Pale King created the world and everything in it. Shrines to the king can be found scattered throughout the kingdom, and king's idols were created and distributed to followers of the king. Despite the worship, the Pale King often kept himself hidden from his subjects, possibly to hide his blemishes. I mean, if you look at the size of the real Pale King to his statue in the ancient basin, the man is clearly overcompensating. The Pale King's White Palace was also built underneath the city, separating him from his subjects even more so. At the same time, certain powers became shunned in Hallownest, though we don't know for sure if the Pale King had anything to do with this. Lifeblood is a blue liquidy substance that leaves those who drink it feeling refreshed. However, the use of lifeblood was seen as a taboo, and those who used it were demonized as heretics. The use of soul for combat was also shunned. Soul is a sort of life force in Hollow Knight that animates the bodies of living creatures. But some characters are able to control the soul of others to conjure powerful spirits. But aside from a few exceptions, no citizens of Hallownest ever use this power. However, the Pale King didn't rule alone. There was another higher being in the mix, a being known as the White Lady. The White Lady is a weird brute-like being that can be found in the modern-day Queen's Gardens. She is encased in a strange cocoon, and we know very little about her. With as much exposition we get for the Pale King, there is next to nothing on the White Lady. but one thing we do know is that she likes to breed. Like, a lot. The White Lady would often retreat to the Queen's Gardens, an area of land once controlled by the Mosskin. How exactly she walked around and actually went places is a lore question too deep for even my expertise. The White Lady is also known as a pale being, along with the Pale King. What exactly are pale beings? Well, we don't know for sure, but they seem to stand out even amongst higher beings, as being even more powerful.
Yeah.
I know that's a little confusing, so let's try using an example. I'd say that regular higher beings are like a TP-Link Archer C7 AC1750 wireless dual-band gigabit router, while pale beings are like the Asus RT-AX88U AX6000 dual-band 8X gigabit Wi-Fi router. Under the Pale King, Halnest underwent a bit of an industrial revolution. He ordered the construction of the stagways, which were used to transport passengers and goods. The Forgotten Crossroads and the storerooms above the City of Tears were used to store goods that traveled along these stagways. The king also ordered the construction of the tramways, because literally no one is safe from the threat of automation. A tram was built between the Forgotten Crossroads and the resting grounds. A second tram was built from the kingdom's edge across the ancient basin over to Deep Nest. And then a third tram was started in Deep Nest and attempted to go further into Deep Nest. Not sure how useful that would have been to the bugs of Hallownest, but whatever. The Pale King's a smart guy, I'm not gonna question him. But anyway, the Pale King's super smart plan to build a tram in Deep Nest ended up getting a few of his tram workers killed. The bugs of Deep Nest rejected the Pale King's attempt to build a tram in their territory, further cementing the poor relations shared between the two groups. Aside from convenient fast travel, regular pathways were also used to cart goods around the kingdom. From this was born probably one of the most important groups in Hallownest, and perhaps even all of fiction. An elusive guild of bugs, simply known as the Menderbugs, took to maintaining the various signs scattered throughout Hallownest. From the journal entry of one Menderbug, we can catch a glimpse into their ancient and unknowable minds.
Dear, dear diary, isn't life just the most beautiful thing? Fixing signs, mending posts, let them break, I say. I'm a better mender for all that repairing. I sometimes doubt there's a single bug in all of Hallownest happier than me.
Another example of the Pale King's expanding infrastructure is the Crystal Peak. This area is filled with crystals that grow rapidly along walls, ceilings, and even the shells of certain bugs. These crystals were considered valuable to the bugs of Hallownest, resulting in large-scale mining efforts. We don't actually see the crystals used anywhere else in Hallownest, but they are said to contain a sort of energy. The crystals are also said to sing, if you listen very carefully.
Sorry I'm late. But we're here now.
Need some saving, pal?
Imagine if we just sat on the sidelines watching. If we didn't take action, then how could we call ourselves heroes? Fear not, cause we are here!
Yeah! We have need of your strength just as you need ours. Do your best.
You got this!
Fight! You got this!
In terms of military, Hallownest's first line of defense appeared to be a group simply known as the Five Great Knights. The members of this esteemed coalition were Ogrim, Hagamol, Zamir, Drya, and Isma. For being so important, most of the information about these knights has been lost to time. Ogrim is the knight we know the most about, since he is one of the few knights still alive during the events of the game. Ogrim expressed a great amount of loyalty towards the king, and he maybe had something going on with Isma, but we really don't know. Hagamol was known for his sense of humor and his soft-spoken voice, but at the same time, he was also dummy thick. Mysterious Zamir arrived in Hallownest from a serene land, bringing with her a collection of delicate flowers. At some point, she also got into a relationship with a mantis, but not just any mantis, a daughter of one of the mantis lords. So yeah, it seems like these great knights were slaying in more ways than one. All we really know about Drya is that she was fierce, caring, and wise. As for Isma, she was described as being kind. She also appears to be some sort of weird plant life form, but there's no information on where she's from or what her powers were. The 5 Great Knights play an important role in the Champion's Call, the Knotted Grove, and the Battle of the Black Worm. We have no idea what these events were or how they affected Hallownest, but they sound cool nonetheless. During Hallownest's reign, there was another strange area that seemed to exist separate from the Pale King's rule. Carved out of the corpse of an ancient bug, an area called the Colosseum of Fools was constructed, and it was a destination for warriors from outside Hallownest. The sole purpose for fighting in the Colosseum appeared to be simply for glory, with a mysterious figure known as the Lord Fool overseeing the combat. We don't know when the Colosseum was constructed or if the Pale King was involved, but one of his servants, the Pale Lurker, became a champion in the Colosseum, perhaps indicating the Pale King's approval. And finally, there was the Royal Waterways, where the fecal excrement of the kingdom was washed out into the fungal wastes. This area saw the rise of a species of parasite-like creatures called the Flukes. The Flukes spawned from the Fluke Marm, a giant monster with cavities in which tinier Flukes live. There really isn't too much lore involved with the Flukes, but I do need to point out that the Fluke Marm is canonically a MILF. Like, that's not even debatable. The sky is blue, 2 + 2 = 4, and we all want to fuck this thing. And so this was the kingdom of Hallownest at its height. Hallownest was a vast kingdom connected by a network of stagways and tram stations. The bugs of Hallownest mourned their dead on the resting grounds, engaged in commerce using Geo, the de facto currency of the region, and a thriving capital located in the middle of the kingdom. The Pale King had succeeded in crafting a full-blown society, but we all know there are pitfalls to living in a society. As the suspiciously knowledgeable Hunter points out in his journal, the Pale King had created a population of weak and pathetic creatures. The bugs of Hallownest did not hunt for their own food, and had become complacent with their comfort. This is even more obvious with the east wing of the capital. These greedy members of Hallownest's high society became complete cowards, obsessed with riches and plum from excess wealth. The bugs living in Hallownest Prime looked quite different than the instinctive simpletons they once were. Their savagery had been replaced with intelligence, and through that intellect, they gave the Pale King the devotion and service he desired. And while there were a few snags along the way, they were shining times for the king and his subjects. Resting at the threshold of Hallownest is a strange lore tablet, proclaiming Hallownest to be the last and only civilization. It calls Hallownest an eternal kingdom. This appears to have been the Pale King's goal, for Hallownest to stand against a wasted world as a final beacon for civilization. And that was the Pale King's ultimate folly, to think that he could succeed where so many others had failed before. Long before the Pale Kings or the Barry Bensons of the world, the land of Hallownest was controlled by an ancient caste. Hints of Hallownest's history are littered throughout the land, with the most notable examples being the Soul Totems and Arcane Eggs. One sect of these ancient bugs didn't worship a god like the Pale King or any lord, but instead a dark and mysterious substance known as the Void. This ancient caste once also tried to lay claim to the entire land of Hallownest, but they too failed. In his quest to conquer all of Hallownest, the Pale King had made an enemy long forgotten, an enemy that was about to be remembered.
The Tempur-Pedic breeze makes sleep feel cool. So no more sweating all night or blasting the air conditioning. Because the Tempur-Breeze feels up to 10 degrees cooler all night long. Find cooler sleep with the Tempur-Breeze collection at an Ashley near you.
I mentioned earlier that the Moth tribe entirely forgot about the Radiants in order to worship the Pale King, but that isn't quite true. Memories of her still lingered, and hushed whispers of faith kept the Radiants alive. At the summit of the Crystal Peak, a location known as Hallownest Crown, a strange collection of glyphs can be found. Joining these glyphs is a statue of the Radiants, presiding over the kingdom below. This old summit is the sole standing shrine left to the Radiants. This was built in order to keep the memory of the Radiants alive. The Radiants' light began to appear in the dreams of Hallownest citizens. This light manifested itself in an infection that ravaged through the kingdom's tunnels. Those infected would fall into a deep sleep and awaken with broken minds. Some of the lesser bugs tried to resist the Radiance' light, which only resulted in them being consumed by it even more so. Many infected bugs lost their wills and began attacking bugs that weren't infected. The infection also twisted the bodies of its hosts, causing them to bloat and occasionally develop orange cysts on their bodies. For many victims, they were reverted back to their basic instincts, carrying out the duties they once fulfilled in life, but now as mindless slaves. Those caught up in the infection were linked into the Radiance's hive mind, allowing her to control their bodies if needed. As the infection spread across Hallownest, many groups looked to solutions to fight off the Radiance's light. The gates to the City of Tears were closed in an attempt to keep the infection from reaching the city. The stagways were also shut down at some point, and many of the stags eventually died out, but some took more proactive efforts against the infection. The scholars of the Soul Sanctum decided to harness the power of Soul in an attempt to fight the infection. This resulted in the deaths of hundreds of bugs, whose souls were sucked out and injected into the bodies of the scholars. Their goal was to achieve some kind of pure focus, which would somehow protect them from plagues of the mind. The scholars' leader, the Soul Master, was driven mad by the sheer power of Soul, and his entire sect failed to avoid infection. But hey, at least they took as many innocent people down with them as they could. The Mantis tribe, showing a stronger will than the common bug, were able to stave off the infection. However, one of the 4 Mantis lords turned against his sisters. He and his followers took in the infection willingly, as it gave them more strength and courage. At some point during all this, the Traitor Lord and his followers were exiled from the Mantis village, eventually taking up residence in the Queen's Gardens. The Traitor Lord's daughter ended up dying at some point. This is the same Mantis that was in a relationship with Zamir, one of the 5 Great Knights, but the Mantises rejected their union because of Zamir's outsideness. As a gamer, this type of prejudice is all too familiar, and honestly, it makes me sick. With the 5 Great Knights completely useless to fight against the infection, the Pale King devised his own scheme. A scheme involving a strange substance known as Void. As I mentioned earlier, the Pale King's White Palace was built in an area called the Ancient Basin, but his castle wasn't the only noteworthy thing down there. At the bottom of the Ancient Basin was the entrance to a pit known as the Abyss. Within the Abyss was a lake composed of void. The Pale King realized that this void could be given form, as evidenced by an imprint of such deep within the Abyss, possibly left there by the ancient civilization that predated Hallownest. The Pale King devised a workshop in his palace, where he placed void in armor shells imbued with soul, creating servants known as King's Molds and Wing Molds. These void creatures were somehow imprinted with the desire of the Pale King, so that they would serve him. It isn't clear when the Pale King started making these creatures. There is evidence to imply that even common bugs were aware of King's Molds, but the point is, the Pale King turned to the void in order to create another creature, one that he believed could contain the Radiance and her infection. He tried to create a pure vessel. The Radiance's infection needs its host to have a will and a mind in order to enslave it. A pure vessel would be a creature made of void designed to lack those features. The Pale King believed that by harnessing the void inside a pure vessel, he would be able to stop the infection and keep Hallownest lasting eternal. But his method for creating this so-called pure vessel was incredibly cruel. This is where the White Lady and her King Kong-sized libido come into play. These 2 higher beings engaged in a union of some kind, resulting in the creation of several eggs that were dropped down into the Abyss. There, the void seeped into these eggs, corrupting the offspring of the Pale King and the White Lady. This act resulted in the creation of the vessels. The vessels are not technically considered to be alive. They are shells created from the Pale King and White Lady that have been filled with a void. Within each vessel is a shade, a completely void being hidden behind the face of the vessel. Vessels are also non-gendered, I guess because they're dead or something? I'm not sure if that's how that works, but whatever. I'm not an expert on these kinds of things. I don't work at ICE anymore.
Introducing a revolutionary experience for developers. A great sleep score. Azure DevOps and Defender for Cloud catch security issues, so you can catch more Z's.
New from Einstein Bros Bagels, the $8 breakfast and brew. Build your own egg sandwich on a fresh baked bagel and pair it with a large hot or iced coffee. The $8 breakfast and brew. Your fresh fuel up.
Now we're baking.
Thousands of vessels were created during this process, but only one was chosen as the pure vessel. This particular vessel, chosen by the Pale King, was deemed the Hollow Knight, and was taken away to the White Palace. But I want to take a bit of a closer look at this part of the story. There are a number of questions and theories surrounding this moment that I really want to dig into. The big question surrounding this moment is, why was the Hollow Knight chosen over any other vessel? One common theory is that the Pale King took these vessels back to the White Palace and evaluated them using his giant collection of buzzsaws. This theory is probably the least likely explanation. It kinda exists just to explain the buzzsaws, which is quite the mystery, I'll admit, but doesn't really mesh with the vessels very well. How does being good at Super Meat Boy prove that you are a worthy vessel? And while thinking about logistics in a game about magic bugs is never a good idea, how exactly did the Pale King transfer these thousands of vessels to his palace without characters like the Dung Defender finding out? So this means that the Pale King probably made his decision without taking any of the vessels out of the abyss. So how did the Pale King make his evaluation? I think the best explanation comes from a theory I originally heard from a user named Golden Flower Fan. Basically, the vessels were hatched down at the bottom of the abyss, and the first one to make it to the top was chosen by the Pale King. In a memory of this event, we see vessels falling from above back down into the pit of the abyss. Perhaps these vessels weren't being cast down into the abyss, but fell while trying to escape out of it. The lore tablet outside the abyss appears to support this theory. It reads, "Our pure vessel has ascended. Beyond lies only the refuse and regret of its creation. We shall enter that place no longer." This tablet was likely written right after the Hollow Knight was chosen, considering that is when the entrance to the abyss was sealed off. The tablet proclaims that the pure vessel has ascended, or in other words, climbed out of the abyss. And while cut content should never be considered canon, I would just like to point out that an earlier version of this tablet, found in the game's code, was even more explicit about this. It read, "From below, our pure vessel has ascended." But how does making it to the top of the abyss first prove that the Hollow Knight is somehow a perfectly hollow vessel? Well, I think this whole concept might just be a misconception. What if the Hollow Knight wasn't any different from the other vessels? All the vessels were made in the exact same way after all. The idea that the Hollow Knight was somehow more hollow than the other vessels comes from the fact that there were so many vessels created in the first place. If they only needed one, then why create so goddamn many? I mean, this is like Octomom on steroids. Well, these are bugs we're talking about, so it would make sense that multiple offspring would come from one egg. And it might have been a precaution to produce multiple vessels in hopes that at least one would be able to successfully escape the abyss. Now another explanation could be that the Pale King just yeeted other vessels that made it to the top first, after determining that they weren't hollow, which would better explain why so many were created. Ultimately, the exact details aren't super important, but I do find it interesting how many different interpretations can be pulled from this part of the lore. After the Hollow Knight was chosen, the Pale King sealed the doorway to the abyss, leaving the discarded vessels to rot away in darkness. These actions were not taken lightly by the Pale King or the White Lady. Both participants expressed shame in what they did, but saw no other option to save the kingdom. But the vessels weren't the only poor saps sealed away in the abyss. There's also a lighthouse that was built on top of a naturally formed spire, its light shining down on an ocean of abyss below. Inside was one of the Pale King's royal retainers, who was left in charge of keeping the lighthouse turned on. So this brave soul was willingly sealed in a dark and dangerous tomb for the rest of his life, just so he could not pull a lever. Well, at least he was living with purpose. With the abyss sealed and the Hollow Knight chosen, the Pale King's plan was beginning to come together. The Hollow Knight was raised and trained to prime form, causing it to grow several times its original size. We don't know exactly why this happened, but I guess the Hollow Knight is just a grower and not a shower. We know that the Hollow Knight was trained to use a nail, but why was this even necessary? One possible explanation is that the Hollow Knight needed to protect itself in case an intruder tried to kill it. You know, like the player. Or perhaps this was important in the process of containing the Radiance. Unfortunately, the details of that are never fully explained. The Hollow Knight might have somehow focused the Radiance inside itself, but Team Cherry gives us no explanation of how that might have worked. But that still wasn't enough for the Pale King. Additional seals were needed in order to protect the Hollow Knight's physical body while the Radiance was trapped inside of it. To achieve this, the Pale King sought the help of 3 particular bugs, who would later be known as the Dreamers: Lurien the Watcher, Motomon the Teacher, and Hera the Beast. Lurien is definitely the most mysterious of the 3 Dreamers. He lived in the Watcher's Spire in the City of Tears. From there, Lurien watched over the city with his telescope. Lurien was a pretty big fan of the king, so it probably took little convincing for him to lie down for him. Lurien might also be tied to another strange incident that occurred in the City of Tears. Hidden on some of Lurien's lore tablets are images of jars, the same jars that can be found stockpiled in the Tower of Love. This building sits on the outskirts of the city, and is the setting of one of the most bizarre bosses in the game, the Collector. The Collector is a void construct that appears to have been made from the same mold used to create the King's molds. But the Collector is unique because, well,
Good grief, he's naked!
The Collector stayed in the Tower of Love with a noble bug who likely owned the establishment. In the tower, a number of bugs can be found captured in jars, implying that these two were tasked with collecting these creatures. However, the Collector somehow became obsessed with grubs, creating a map to keep track of grubs it captured in jars, as well as keeping a strange shrine displaying a grub in the style of the Vitruvian Man. Eventually, the bug staying with the Collector decided to lock it inside the Tower of Love, and fled to the Queen's Gardens, where it died, likely due to overexposure to the void. Despite being locked up in the tower, the Collector is still spotted by the Hunter at some point, which either means this only happened recently, or the Hunter has been farting around in Hallownest for a long ass time. We have no idea what these creatures were trying to do. It's implied that the Collector was trying to preserve the creatures of Hallownest, perhaps trying to protect them from the spread of the infection, but we don't know where the Collector's obsession with grubs originated, and while Lurien does seem connected to all of this, we don't know how involved he was with this operation, or what its end goal exactly was. Motomon the Teacher lived in the Teacher's Archives, a library built atop a lake of acid in the Fog Canyon. The lower half of her body consists of tentacles, making her a popular subject for the thriving Hollow Knight R34 community. The Archives and the Fog Canyon as a whole are also filled with these strange Metroid knockoffs. These creatures are likely related to Motomon in some way. They could be her live offspring, her test tube babies, or possibly even her shit. Motomon uses futuristic cathode ray tube things to store information about Hallownest. Several terminals in the Teacher's Archive go into detail about the Pale King's plan to defeat the Radiance, indicating that Motomon had intimate knowledge of what she was taking part in. Finally, the Pale King sought the help of Hera the Beast, the Queen of Deepnest. Now, as I mentioned earlier, relations between Hallownest and Deepnest were kinda...
Red Bull gives you wings.
Not great. Unlike the other two dreamers, Hera needed to be convinced in order to help the Pale King. Hera would eventually agree to become a dreamer, in exchange for a child. The Pale King agreed, and the two engaged in a dalliance, which is a fancy way of saying they totally boned. The White Lady was okay with this arrangement. In fact, she might have been watching from the closet. The motive behind Hera's request is never elaborated on, but it appears as though the King of Deepnest was dead at this point. Hera was a common bug, so perhaps she desired the Pale King's pale seed so that her child could be of high birth. The bargain between Hera and the Pale King resulted in the birth of Hornet. She became known as the gendered child because, unlike the Pale King's other children, Hornet was not hollowed out by the Abyss. Hera and Hornet spent little time together, as Hera had to make good on her end of the bargain. And so the three dreamers were put to rest. Through their actions, a seal was placed over the black egg, prohibiting entrance into the chamber. These dreamers also had their own protection. At the base of Lurian's spire, the Watcher Knights guarded access to their master's body. Motomon's body was protected by a giant jellyfish named Umu. On top of this, Motomon entrusted her servant Quirrell with a mask which would be required to break an additional seal she had placed over herself. So she basically is double wrapping herself. As for Hera, we're not really sure what protected her, since it is never actually seen in-game. We don't know where this creature is hiding, but whoever it is, they really suck at their job. Now there appears to be one more element to the Pale King's plan, involving the Weavers. Hidden away in the Weaver's Den is an incomplete seal of binding, woven from silk. This design prominently features the Hollow Knight's head, and can be found in the White Palace, as well as blocking the exit during the Hollow Knight fight. Silk spools created by the Weavers can be found in the Stag Station in Deepnest, as well as the Stag Station next to the White Palace. These spools can also be found in the Pale King's workshop. We know that the Weavers were closely tied to Hera and Hornet, so their actions might have been a part of the deal between the Pale King and Hera. Once the Hollow Knight was ready, the Radiance was somehow channeled into the vessel, which was then placed inside of a giant black egg located in the Forgotten Crossroads. This egg was built to sustain the Hollow Knight, and itself appears to be fashioned from void. The Hollow Knight was chained up, and the entrance to the black egg was locked behind a powerful seal created by the three dreamers. Initially, this convoluted plan actually worked, and the infection was successfully contained. Memorials to the Hollow Knight and the dreamers were erected in the City of Tears and the resting grounds. But this is the part of the story where things get a little bit hazy. By the time these statues were constructed, citizens had taken to writing on parchment woven from spider silk, which was all destroyed when water started pouring down onto the city. We don't know how long the Hollow Knight was able to completely contain the infection. Bugs from Dirtmouth used to go to the Temple of the Black Egg to pray, saying they felt at peace within the walls. But after a while, they stopped going, perhaps indicating that the infection was beginning to leak out again. The infectious air continued to seep through Halnest for years, eventually even reaching the deepest parts of the kingdom. As it turns out, the Pale King's pure vessel wasn't quite so pure after all. The Hollow Knight had been tarnished by an idea instilled. While the game never explicitly tells us what that idea was, it does hint strongly at what it might be. Hidden away in the White Palace is a memory showing the Hollow Knight and the Pale King sharing a moment. The Hollow Knight might have developed a parental bond to the Pale King, and who could blame it? The Pale King is a pretty great dad after all. You know, if you ignore the infanticide and everything. Remember those smug mushroom dickheads? Well, it turns out their trust in the Pale King was a complete mistake. That shared mind isn't looking too good now, is it? In the fungal core, the corpse of a giant mushroom lies dormant. Its final thoughts were, "Pale worm, what good to see a demise unavoidable?" This could imply that the Pale King always knew that his kingdom was doomed. All he could do was delay the inevitable. This is likely the moment when Halnest, as it once was, entirely collapsed. The Hollow Knight had not completely stopped the infection, and while it may have taken a while, Halnest was eventually brought low. It's at this point that characters and areas begin to resemble as we know them in-game. When it became clear that the Hollow Knight was not able to contain the Radiance, the Pale King resorted to his final plan.
let's count Quick Trip's new delicious combos. How many possibilities are there? I've lost count. Quick Trip's new delicious combos. 3 deals, a lot of combos at QT.
He fucked off, hiding himself, his white palace, and his pale court in the dream world. At this point, all of the furniture in the palace was covered under white sheets, similar to how people in the real world cover their furniture while away on long trips. The only citizen left standing is Eternal Emilita, who just laughs her ass off about it like she's a fucking Dark Souls character. The White Lady ends up in a cocoon deep within the Queen's gardens. She decided to place bindings on herself in order to keep her from spreading her seed. She claims that this is because of the shame she feels in helping the Pale King create the vessels, but honestly, it's probably just her kink. The White Lady also diminished her power, possibly as a way to keep herself hidden from unwanted visitors. Outside her cocoon, Drya stood guard, protecting her queen from the violent traitor mantises. Drya is eventually killed off by these bugs, which is actually pretty pathetic if you think about it. I mean, we're talking like the Netgear WPN824N N150 wireless router pathetic. Speaking of great knights dying pathetically, let's move on to Hegemel. Hegemel held the city crest, a key used to open one of the gates to the City of Tears. At some point, Hegemel's armor shell was stolen by a maggot. Now, maggots were generally looked down upon and forced to do menial labor. They were incredibly weak, and basically deserved all of the discrimination they got. But this one maggot decided to turn the tide, so he stole Hegemel's shell so that he could defend his downtrodden brothers. His actions weren't motivated by the infection, but instead was the result of how hierarchical caste systems will always lead to revolution from the working class, and that true freedom can only be achieved blah blah blah, capitalism is bad, subscribe to my Patreon. Ogrim moved to the Royal Waterways and started living in shit, changing his name to Dung Defender. Now I love wallowing in shit as much as the next guy, but you'd have to really love shit to put up with living with the flukes. The Dung Defender kept an unwavering sense of duty and loyalty to the king, and love for his fellow knights, so much so that he made shit statues of them. How nice. Ogrim acted as the defender of the pipeways, as well as Isma's Grove. A section of the Royal Waterways became filled with acid, and in the middle of it all rests Isma's corpse. which has been overcome by plant life. Isma is likely the one responsible for this acid blight, but we have no idea what happened to her. Hornet's whereabouts during this time are fairly mysterious. We know that she departed Deep Nest and didn't return until the events of the game. At some point, she took to guarding Halnest from intruding warriors, as well as the cast-off shell in the Kingdom's Edge. Despite the Kingdom's woes at large, fortunately this fate did not befall one of the fandom's favorite characters. The Menderbugs continued to fix the broken signs and wayposts of Halnest. From a diary entry, we can see that one Menderbug in particular had found himself on the precipice of a long and loving relationship.
Hello again, diary. Not long now until the next Minder Bash. For us stealthy types, we're a riotous bunch when we get together, and Minderberry kept flashing me that smile. It might be time to muster my courage and act on it. I love my home and my life, but sharing it with another? Why, that'd be the berry on top.
Greenpath also underwent some changes during this time. The Mosskin were waiting for Un's call, which would bring them back into the dream they were originally born from. But for some reason, Un's strength deteriorated. We don't know why this happened exactly. Was it due to the White Lady claiming part of her kingdom? Was it somehow due to the infection? Some Mosskin believe that Un went into hiding, but it appears as though Un is, in fact, calling to her children. But many of the Mosskin are unable to hear her call. Instead, many Mosskin seem to have taken the Radiance's infection into their leaves, which might explain why Greenpath became overgrown with vegetation despite Un's deteriorating powers. Mossy vagabonds even openly chose to forsake Un and worship the Radiance. Another tribe to be screwed over by the Radiance is the Hive, which fell to the infection after the death of their leader, Hive Queen Vespa. But it appears as though this had little effect on their civilization. The Radiance's hive mind was already familiar to the bees, since the Hive probably operated under something similar already. So in other words, the Hive probably made out the best in this whole situation. Let's turn our attention back to the moths. After all, it's their god that keeps killing everybody. Well, the moth tribe didn't fare too well actually, as pretty much the entire tribe died out. The only known survivor is the Seer. Despite the loss of her tribe, the Seer continued to tend to the graves in the resting grounds, while also waiting the arrival of the Wielder, a mysterious being that her tribe has dreamt of for a while. In the Kingdom's Edge, the land became covered in ash molting off of the worm's decomposing corpse. The Colosseum of Fools continued to thrive. The Lord Fool passed away at some point, but nobody really seems to notice or even care. The fools inside the Colosseum were infected, but still seem to have maintained control over themselves. It seems possible that these bugs took in the infection willingly, similar to the Traitor Lord and his followers. This would have given them an edge in combat, similar to using steroids, but without the whole shrinking testicles thing. However, even the Traitor Lord and his followers went mad, so what makes these fools any more special? As for the Pale King's champion, the Pale Lurker, well, she just went the normal kind of insane. There appears to have been another unforeseen event with the Pale King's plan. When the Hollow Knight was originally chosen, the door to the Abyss was sealed, trapping the discarded vessels within. But apparently, some vessels didn't get the memo. Vessel corpses can be found littered throughout the kingdom. There's one in the Ancient Basin, one in Greenpath, and several trapped in Nosk's lair in Deep Nest. Another vessel that escaped from the Abyss is the player character, the Knight. The exact details on how the vessels escaped the Abyss is unclear. There are indications that they might have slipped into Deep Nest through some old passageway, given void influences in part of the area, and all the corpses found in Nosk's lair. At some point, all entrances to Halnest were closed off, with the old Welland Earthmouth being the only way to sneak back in. Despite this, several people have wormed their way into the kingdom, with few ever returning. Characters like Relic Seeker Lem seemed content to just pillage artifacts from the ruined kingdom, but other bugs seemed interested in something greater. In the Howling Cliffs rests the corpse of a member of the Grim Troop. The task of this bug appears to have been to seek out Halnest, so that the troop might be summoned to the kingdom in the future. The Grim Troop are basically a group of bugs that serve a higher being known as the Nightmare Heart. The troop keeps the heart alive by feeding on the nightmares of fallen kingdoms. This process also involves sacrificing the troop master to his own child because, hey, look at this cool ass boss battle.
Chaos isn't music to anybody's ears. Azure brings everything into one clean view, so you can finally hear yourself think, did I feed the dog cat food?
Another important group that traveled to Hallownest are the God Seekers. After being abandoned by their old gods, the gods of thunder and the gods of rain, these bugs left their home in the land of storms, seeking out a new god to worship. The God Seekers looked to gods to save them from their own silent mind. While traveling through the wastelands, the God Seekers constructed devices called God Tuners, which helped them seek out new gods. Through this device, they were able to detect the lingering power of the Pale King and find their way to Hallownest. When they arrived, however, the God Seeker was forced into hibernation. She was encased in a strange sarcophagus-like cocoon, which was itself chained up with a lock. It's not clear how this forced hibernation worked, seeing as the cocoon appears to have been made by the God Seeker herself. As for who put the cocoon in chains, I think the most likely candidate is the Dung Defender, considering how the God Seeker's cocoon is found in the junk pit in the waterways, an area the Dung Defender has tasked himself with protecting. This was the general picture of Hallownest after the Hollow Knight was sealed inside the Temple of the Black Egg. The kingdom was stuck in a kind of stasis, with the Pale King civilization destroyed and the Radiants unable to break free from her chains. The Pale King was rebelling against nature, trying to keep his work standing indefinitely. The stasis over Hallownest held for an age. How long is that exactly? Well, we have no idea. As I'm sure you've noticed, there really isn't a timeline for anything that happens in this game. We also have no idea how long any of these bugs can actually live. Elderbug wasn't around to see the stagways open, but we know several other characters were, implying that Elderbug is probably one of the youngest characters in the whole game. But this stasis over Hallownest wasn't going to last forever. At some point, the Radiance erupted out of the Hollow Knight, cracking its shell and releasing a loud and powerful roar. The amount of infection leaking out of the Hollow Knight became even greater. The many corpses that lined the roads and cities of the kingdom sprang to life with the amplified power of the infection. This strengthened infection prompted the departure of the Weavers back to their old home. Now this old home might actually be Farloom, the kingdom in which Hollow Knight Silksong takes place. But the amount of knowledge we have about Silksong right now is pathetic, so I'm not saying that's confirmed or anything. This is also around the time that Quirrell arrives back in Hallownest. His memory of Motomon appears to have been clouded due to his time outside of Hallownest. These events are depicted in the Quirrell prequel comic, which also shows an image of the Hollow Knight with a pre-cracked shell. This could mean that Quirrell's arrival happens roughly the same time the Hollow Knight's shell cracks. At around the same time Quirrell arrives in Hallownest, we also see the arrival of the player character, who is commonly referred to as the Knight. The Knight was one of the lucky vessels that was able to make its way out of the abyss. Somehow the Knight ended up venturing beyond Hallownest and into the wilds beyond. It's implied that the Knight was called to Hallownest by either the sealed Hollow Knight or the Radiants within. Regardless, once the Knight shows up and yeets itself off this cliff, the actual game of Hollow Knight finally begins. Now, there's a lot of details we could get into. Hallownest is full of NPCs and bosses, each with their own stories to tell. But to be honest, I don't think we need to go through all of them, since their stories are relatively straightforward. For example, let's look at the Brooding Moloch. So why is the Brooding Moloch brooding? Because all its friends are dead. And there you go, that's the lore for the Brooding Moloch. Also, it's the only character in the game with a visible asshole. Now, did you really need me to explain that to you? Probably not. So instead, I'm just going to talk about the interactions relating to Hollow Knight's main story. The Knight is eventually noticed by Hornet, who lures it deep into Greenpath. There, Hornet attempts to kill the Knight, claiming that she knows what it would try to do. At this point, Hornet views the Knight as being too weak. After the fight, Hornet can be found in the City of Tears, next to the statue of the Hollow Knight. Hornet mentions that the Knight has gained a resilience, due to the time it spent in the void beyond Hallownest. This could be referring to the fact that some of those who leave Hallownest lose their memories, meaning the Knight would have no memories of its own tragic conception. Hornet tells the Knight that if it seeks to continue the stasis that keeps Hallownest standing, it must seek the Graven Ash, which is referring to the Kingdom's Edge. At this moment, Hornet sees the Knight as a possible replacement for the Hollow Knight. Basically, the Knight could break the seals that keep the Hollow Knight locked away, defeat the Hollow Knight, and contain the infection itself. It's at this point that I should mention that Hollow Knight actually has 5 different endings, because of course it would. I'm going to be explaining each of these endings in this video, as they each give us a different glimpse into the mechanics of Hollow Knight's world. Now, to get the easiest ending to Hollow Knight, Hornet's instructions to go to the Kingdom's Edge can be ignored completely. If the knight stumbles upon the resting grounds, the 3 dreamers will appear and cast the knight into the dream realm. There, Seer will come to the knight's rescue and grant it the Dream Nail, a special blade that can tear the veil between the real world and the dream world. With the Dream Nail, the knight can venture to the resting places of the 3 dreamers, curb stomp their asses, and unlock the entrance to the Black Egg. Inside the egg, the knight finds the Hollow Knight chained up, silently watching over it. Once the chains are broken, the Hollow Knight screams with that familiar Radiance roar and pursues the knight. As the fight progresses, the Hollow Knight starts trying to kill itself, Coral style. But then the Radiance starts using the Hollow Knight's body to perform her own attacks. Once defeated, the Hollow Knight begins to spew infection all over the place. The knight can then focus the infection into itself. This results in the first ending of the game, called Hollow Knight. In this ending, the knight usurps the Hollow Knight, prolonging the stasis over Hallownest. New chains and bindings appear out of fuck if I know, and contain the knight, and a new seal is placed over the entrance to the Black Egg. Now there is one giant question looming over this ending. Can the knight actually contain the infection indefinitely, or will the Radiant still manage to break free one day?
Sorry I'm late. But we're here now.
Need some saving, pal?
Imagine if we just sat on the sidelines watching. If we didn't take action, then how could we call ourselves heroes? Fear not, cause we are here!
Yeah! We have need of your strength just as you need ours. Do your best.
You got this!
Fight! You got this!
Before we answer this question, let's look at some of the other events that can transpire while playing the game. If the player chooses to go to Kingdom's Edge, Hornet will challenge the knight one last time as a final test of strength. After her defeat, Hornet allows the knight to access the cast-off shell, where the Pale King was originally hatched. By interacting with this egg, the knight's shell is marked with the king's brand, technically making the knight the new ruler of Hallownest. With the king's brand, the knight can now open the entrance to the abyss and discover the place of its birth. When leaving the abyss, the knight can encounter Hornet again, where for the first time, Hornet suggests that there are actually 2 outcomes the knight can enact. She tells the knight that it can either prolong Hallownest stasis, or face the heart of the kingdom's infection. Within the knight, Hornet sees a chance for change. Instead of just replacing the Hollow Knight, Hornet believes that it may be possible to get rid of the infection completely by using the void inside of the knight. After visiting the abyss and obtaining the Shade Cloak, the knight is capable of reaching the White Lady, hidden away in the Queen's Gardens. The White Lady tells the knight that she has been awaiting a vessel to accept a gift, that gift being 1/2 of a charm called the King's Soul, which she claims will give the knight more power. The White Lady goes on to explain that she can feel the weakening of the Hollow Knight within her roots. She tells the knight that it is free of the blemishes that made the Hollow Knight a flawed vessel. From this dialogue, it is implied that the knight truly is a pure vessel, capable of containing the Radiance successfully. But it's not quite that simple, so we're going to have to dig a bit deeper into this. Basically, we're going to need to answer a simple question. What exactly does it mean to be a Hollow Knight? Despite the White Lady's words, we have a number of instances where the characters and item descriptions mention that the knight has a will, and maybe even a mind. But from the Pale King's dialogue when describing the Hollow Knight, it is stated that a pure vessel has no mind or will. So is the White Lady wrong? Or maybe even lying? Her eyes have been clouded by time, and she can be tricked into thinking that Ogrim is in the room when the knight is wearing the Defender's Crest charm. She also thinks that Drya is still alive, which... So maybe the White Lady is just senile. My problem with that theory is that the White Lady states that the vessels stand out to her clearly in a misted world, due to them being her spawn. She also questions whether or not the knight sought her aid, which would imply that the Knight must have some kind of will. So for whatever reason, the White Lady thinks the Knight is still capable of containing the Radiance, even if it's still able to make decisions. After all, the Hollow Knight was considered pure, but they still taught it how to wield a fucking sword. I mean, if the Knight were truly and completely hollow in a literal sense, it probably shouldn't even be able to walk, or draw a map, or open a goddamn bank account. In short, this whole concept of being hollow is so abstract and hard to define, I don't really feel comfortable giving a solid answer on whether or not the Knight is or isn't truly hollow, and I think the game leaves room open for other interpretations. Of course, the White Lady's gift is useless without the other half of the King Soul. In order to reach it, however, the Knight must travel to the White Palace, locked inside the body of a King's Mold. In order to bypass the seal, the Knight must use a fully awakened Dream Nail. It can do this by bringing 1800 essence to the Seer, allowing her to sharpen the weapon's blade. If the Knight does this, the Seer remarks that the Knight truly is the wielder that her tribe has been dreaming of. There's no explicit reason why the Moth tribe was dreaming about this supposed wielder so much, but it seems like they believe the wielder would wash away the crimes the Moth tribe committed by turning their backs on the Radiance. The Seer seems to know that the Knight might kill the Radiance, and she seems accepting of it, ready for her and her tribe to disappear and be forgotten forever. With the awoken Dream Nail in hand, the Knight can travel to the Pale King's refuge and locate the other half of the King's Soul charm. When equipped, the King's Soul provides a never-ending supply of soul, making it almost useful if it weren't for the insanely high cost of the charm, and the painfully slow rate at which it increases, and the fact that the charm will get replaced in about 5 minutes after you get it. The King's Soul charm itself symbolizes the union between two higher beings. To me, this implies that the King's Soul is a representation of a vessel, which also was created by the union of two higher beings. With the King's Soul in their inventory, the Knight now gains access to an area in the Abyss called the Birthplace. In this massive pile of vessel shells, the Knight can find a giant egg. Dream nailing the egg allows the Knight to access its own memory when it was cast down into the Abyss. From viewing that memory, the King's Soul charm is replaced with the Void Heart charm. The recollection of this event allows the Knight to come to terms with the void inside itself. Once the Knight has the Void Heart, the Shades in the Abyss no longer attack it, and that strange creature that gives the Knight the Shade Cloak calls it the Lord of Shades. In other words, the Knight has now bound the once fragmented void under its own will, allowing it to control the void in a powerful new way. With the union of the Void, the Pale King, and the White Lady, the Knight has gained a strength before unseen. It is with this charm that 2 additional endings become unlocked. Hornet will now be standing outside of the Black Egg, offering to help the Knight should the opportunity arrive. Midway through the fight with the Hollow Knight, Hornet rushes into battle, subduing the Hollow Knight and piercing its shell. It's at this point that the Knight is given the perfect opportunity to enter into the mind of its sibling, fighting the source of the infection head on, and finally putting an end to the Radiance's tyranny. Or it can just stand there and let Hornet get knocked unconscious. If the Knight finishes off the Hollow Knight as usual, the sealed sibling ending occurs. Basically, it's the same as the Hollow Knight ending, but now Hornet is in the room too, and her face appears on the door of the Black Egg. It's not clear what exactly this means for Hallownest. This might imply that Hornet is now a dreamer, but she's inside the temple, meaning that no one can actually get in there to kill her should the Knight ever start leaking infection. At the same time, Hornet mentions that the bindings of the Black Egg would drain her, so she's probably just going to die anyway, right? Generally, people consider this to be one of the worst endings, but it's worth pointing out that Team Cherry doesn't support any one ending as being the true ending. Each ending is canonical in its own right, and honestly,
Red Bull gives you wings. Quinn delivers the quality hand tools you need to build, fix, and upgrade, all at an incredible value. From complete technicians.
Honestly, this ending isn't the worst. At least the Knight and Hornet will get to spend some quality time together. If the Knight does dream nail the Hollow Knight, it will be taken to an arena where it can finally fight the Radiance head on. But the Knight isn't alone, as the other Shades from the Abyss will appear in order to help corner the Radiance. Eventually the Radiance gets trapped in the tendrils of the Void. The Knight bitch slaps her a couple times, and then the Radiance is consumed into the darkness. The Black Egg then appears to turn to shadows and the Void seeps down into the ground. Hornet awakens to find the Knight's broken shell lying on the floor. We get one final shot of the Shades in the Abyss going to rest, and the game is over. This ending is called the Dream No More ending. The Radiance is gone, and Hallownest is finally free from her infection. Now I think it's fair to ask a few questions about how the Dream No More ending comes about. When the Hollow Knight was initially chosen to become the pure vessel, the Abyss was sealed up and the rest of the vessels were left to rot away. But somehow vessels ended up outside of the Abyss, and then one of those vessels was used to replace the Hollow Knight. Exactly how much of this operation was planned, if at all? The White Lady was waiting for a vessel. Did she have any communication with Hornet? Hornet was guarding the Kingsbrand, the only way for a vessel to enter the Abyss. How did she know it was necessary to guard the Kingsbrand from weaker vessels? Hell, if the vessels did escape the Abyss by themselves, wouldn't it be pointless to guard the Kingsbrand, since the vessels could just creep back into the Abyss the same way? I'm not going to provide any good answers to these questions, because God forbid I answer anything in this entire video. But I do want to point out that no plans to actually produce the Dream No More ending are explicitly stated in-game. So we can only speculate as to whether or not the White Lady or Hornet, or maybe even the Pale King, knew that they could defeat the Radiance by creating a Lord of Shades like the Knight. Regardless, the next two endings were definitely not planned. In fact, the last two endings that were added in the Godmaster update almost feel out of place. The Godseekers basically hijack everything to the point where you don't even have to enter the Temple of the Black Egg to beat the game. That's like beating Mario Bros without ever seeing Bowser. But on the other hand, the Godmaster endings basically reinforce that Hallownest does not exist in a vacuum, which can help the world of Hollow Knight feel more real, because what else is reality but just a bunch of random chaotic stuff happening all the time? If the Knight finds the Godseeker in the Junk Pit, it will be able to enter her mind and refight all the bosses in the game. This is part of the Godseeker's ritual. They basically attune to the resonance of gods through ritual combat. This allows them to ascend their minds higher, and eventually, through the use of godly focus, achieve communication with the god sleeping in Hallownest's heart, the Radiance. Now I know what you're thinking. That's a pretty convoluted little religious practice they have going on here. What's next? Are they going to start measuring the Knight's Theon levels? It's pretty complicated, but the point is, these Godseekers have some serious capabilities to fuck things up in Hallownest, as we're about to see. As the Knight makes it further and further through the four pantheons, the Godseekers get closer and closer to making contact with the Radiance, locked away inside the Hollow Knight. At the end of the fourth pantheon, the Radiance makes herself aware in this strange reunion cutscene between the vessels. But she isn't the only one to make an appearance. The Void itself appears to go on the attack, rising up to meet the Radiance's call. It's at this point that the final challenge, the Pantheon of Hallownest, becomes available. The Godseeker finally acknowledges the Knight as being more than just a simple cringer, and they begin to watch the Knight more intently. After defeating like a bazillion bosses in the final Pantheon, the Knight finally comes face to face with the Absolute Radiance, a stronger, more enhanced version of the game's final boss. Finally, the stage is set. After roughly 40 minutes of intense agony and tedious boss battles, the Knight has finally reached the ultimate enemy responsible for the destruction of Hallownest. Truly, this will be a battle for the ages. But first, let's check in on our old pal Menderbug. As it turns out, he's still alive when the Knight arrives in Hallownest, and he's still fulfilling his duty after all this time. Let's take one last look at his diary.
My lovely diary. Someone's gone and broke my favorite sign, right there at the top of the crossroads. Keeps happening too, but you know, I just can't get mad about it. I should be thanking them, really. More chances to fix that beautiful, complex sign, and I've stocked up on spare parts, so I've no fear it'll ever stay broken for long.
Unfortunately, the only way to ever read the Menderbug's diary is to kill him in cold blood. I'm not sure why Team Cherry thought this was necessary, but the general consensus on Reddit is that they are bloodthirsty warmongers, so it checks out. But at least Menderbug's last moments will be spent fixing one of his favorite signs in the Forgotten Crossroads. It's comforting to think that his final seconds of consciousness were spent in total bliss, before we sent him hurtling into the infinite chasm that is Oblivion.
Yikes.
Well anyways, the alternate fight between the Knight and the Radiance plays out differently than in the vanilla ending. This time around, the knight is not accompanied by any shades. Instead, after defeating the Radiants, the knight seems to transform into this monstrosity. Now this creature goes by many names: the God of Gods, the Lord Shade, the Devourer, the Void Entity, but I don't really like any of those, so I will just call him Bill. Bill proceeds to completely annihilate the Radiants in spectacular fashion. We are then treated to the Embrace the Void ending. Bill comes back down from the sky, dropping into the rest of Godhome. The Godseeker starts to get pulled into Bill by Void tendrils. We then cut to the Godseeker in the junk pit. Void starts leaking out of her eyes, and it appears as though Bill is making an escape back into the real world, which is probably a bad thing? Finally, we see Hornet standing outside of the Black Egg as the infection begins to disappear from nearby vines. Hornet hears footsteps coming from inside the Black Egg as the Hollow Knight reveals itself to her and the two prepare for combat. So from this cutscene we can see that the Radiance's death in Godhome actually did kill her for real, meaning that the infection over Hallownest is now gone. This means the seals inside of the Black Egg probably wore off, allowing the Hollow Knight to escape its prison. In other words, the Embrace the Void ending is a goddamn cliffhanger.
Get tax expertise without hidden fees. Switch to a TurboTax expert for $150. All tax situations, all returns, $150 all in, no surprises. Now this is taxes.
Zaxby's giant chicken finger quesadillas. Get them while you can. Who's got the sauce?
Like many things, we got into the escapades.
And we have no idea how Team Cherry plans to follow this up. The Hollow Knight is running loose in Hallownest, and the Knight has transformed into a raging void monster that might try to destroy the entire kingdom, or at least what's left of it. What's even more strange about this ending is that the announced sequel, Hollow Knight Silksong, doesn't seem to be related to this ending at all, but that's a whole different shit show. Obviously, the biggest mystery surrounding this ending is the appearance of Bill. Did this creature exist in the void already? Or was it somehow willed into existence by the power of the Godseekers? Did the Knight turn into this thing, or did it just become a part of it? Examining a statue of this creature and other forms of the Knight grant the player a Hunter's Journal entry for an ancient artifact called the Void Idol, which might imply this creature might have been worshipped by the ancient civilization. But again, that's pure speculation. We don't know what this worship of Void exactly looked like. Maybe the Void they worship took the form of something more sinister. There is one thing we know about this monster though. It's weak to flowers. Yes, these things. As it turns out, those delicate flowers that Zamir has stockpiled up her ass are actually useful for something. They contain a strange power that even deters the White Lady from touching one. The Godseeker, however, is dumb enough to accept a flower from the Knight. If the player does this, instead of Void being released out into the world, this flower pulls a no you, and the Godseeker and Void disappear into thin air. The flower itself is described as giving off a pale light, which appears to connect it to the pale beings. Like I said before, pale beings appear to be some form of top tier gods. As of right now, we are only aware of two, the Pale King and the White Lady. But the fact that Zamir brought these pale flowers from a faraway land implies that there are definitely more of them out there. Another small hint of the existence of pale beings are the pale ore items that can be found all over Hallownest. Did these come from the Pale King, or possibly some other pale being? And what exactly are they? Are they poop? In general, the Godmaster endings appear to be doing a lot of setup for future Hollow Knight content. Like I said before, Hollow Knight Silksong doesn't seem to connect to these events on the surface, so we are in a bit of a bind when trying to discuss what these endings actually mean for the greater narrative Team Cherry is building. There's definitely a lot more to consider about what the Pale Beings are and what properties they possess. And we also have plenty of questions surrounding the Void and how bugs have interacted with it in the past. It almost feels like we are looking through a keyhole, trying to grasp onto the totality of Team Cherry's creation. How powerful are creatures like Bill and the worms? Where did things like the Void even come from to begin with? How much bigger is the world beyond Hallownest? Is Bardoon into butt stuff? But of course, that's the appeal of a game like Hollow Knight. Having all of the answers to every question would just ruin the mystery of the world. Plus, if we didn't have questions like this to waste our time on, then what else would we be doing with our lives? Go outside? Ugh. And so this video comes to an end. Now I know the average attention span of a YouTube viewer is 9 minutes, so let me leave you with a few takeaways. 1. Hollow Knight is a game about bugs. I know this may come as a shock, but it's true. Watch the video again, and this time, pay attention. You'll notice right away, I promise. 2. Murdering your own babies might not be such a good idea after all. I mean, this is obviously just my interpretation of the game's lore. Other people might have different views on the subject of murdering babies, and every opinion is valid, so I don't want to step on anyone's toes or anything. 3. Menderbug is fucking dead. 4. Nothing is certain. This video probably has a few flaws in it. Trying to construct a cohesive narrative with the information found in Hollow Knight isn't exactly straightforward. I'm sure my views will change in the future, and I encourage you to explore the lore yourself. 5. And this last point is fairly obvious, but I should mention it anyway. Cory in the House is the best anime.
Alright.
It's a party every week, baby.
That's
right, I'm in the house.
That was the mossbag lore. I think that's it. Who would have thought of betting and killing each other was wrong? I know, right? Alright, chat. This was amazing. The Hollow Knight lore was amazing. Tomorrow, if I am able to buy the game, we shall be doing Silk Salt. So, I hope you guys are ready for that. Can't wait to experience the journey with you once again. God bless you guys. I am going to eat some food. And probably take a shower. I love you guys. Peace out, Mokai Samurai.